Howdy folks, welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your GM this evening and most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari. We are celebrating Arbor Day. It is Tree Week here at Elberon RPG, and so we are all in tree themed. And kind of around the table, it seems like we're going through the seasons, which is very nice. Let me go ahead and change our music up for just a second while we go ahead and do our introduction here.
I'm springtime.
For every one subscriber, we will plant one tree in your honor.
No.
Oh,
Wait, if that's free labor for my house,
I'm
yes.
I'm not against it as a concept, but that's like I don't really
Dan's
know
the
what
one who's doing it.
I'm not good at planting things. So like that's
Come to my house. I have a bunch of dead trees.
that would ultimately be
off.
people subscribing to kill
I got
trees.
some
That doesn't seem like a good thing. Anyways, a couple of quick announcements before we get started with Starfinder. We have a YouTube at Elberon RPG where we re-air the week's sessions every Sunday, both this at noon and then our D&D game at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find us on Instagram at Elberon RPG for more in-depth photos of the things that pop up on our table. Right now you can see the Directive Zero. You can see the Directive Zero that is kind of hanging out right there. But you can see everything in much greater detail at Elberon RPG on Instagram. And then tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be playing Courts of Everest, our original D&D campaign, at 7 p.m. Right here on Twitch. And with that, we can jump right into this week's session of Mosaic Team 5. Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, you began the last session lost in the interstitial space known as the Drift. You followed standard protocol and began to search for a place that held a signal that would allow your drift navigation to resync to the larger network, lest you drop out in a random place in the galaxy. Shade, you skillfully propelled the craft through the churning tunnel of dangerous luminous clouds, and Echo picked up something on the scanners. First, just debris, but as time went on and the radiation levels rose, it was clear that this was no mere space trash. You came upon a single ballistics weapon, a light nuclear missile that dated back to the Vesk War, its ominous warning painted in black and yellow upon the warhead proper. But with careful navigation from Echo and piloting from Shade, you went around the worst of the radiation and debris and beyond to where a ghostly transponder signal read, the USR Leon Bridges. In a field of debris from a battle long since past, you found one half of the USR carrier named the Leon Bridges shorn in half lengthwise by some devastating weapon that you were unable to determine the nature of. You got closer, and Shade infiltrated the exposed main transit corridor alone. Shade, you walked past wreckage, pulled from further within the ship, and traced your way to the security systems within, feeling strangely familiar with the way the systems worked along the way. You went through an oddly familiar back door to get through the room's physical door and found the security terminal had several incidents stored. The first two were relatively minor, but the third proved far more interesting. Shade, this tape detailed how the USR Leon Bridges at some point in the past suffered a sabotage attempt from you. In the video you saw, you had both organic eyes still intact, but were very much an android. You heard the words that you had heard almost a full month in-game and a full year and a half of actual time earlier, while within Jade's lab. Let this final sunrise illuminate what is to come, Protectorate filth. With the security tapes recorded, Shade, feeling rattled, left. You all left the remains of the USR Leon Bridges behind, perhaps a little bit more haunted than you had found it and continued past, and after some time, were able to reestablish a connection to the drift network. And now, with 3.5 days to go until you reach Garachi, that is where we begin this evening.
So Garachi is the planet, right? And Zin's the moon.
Correct.
How many days until we exit the drift?
3.5. I paid attention. Be proud of me.
Sorry, I was
Somebody was
reading
listening.
something.
I hope you know I'm always proud of you. All of you guys. You guys are great. I love
My
you guys
processing
very
has
Aw.
been off, so I can only do multiple tasks at once.
much. And so if I remember correctly,
Only multiple.
I can only do more than one thing.
Instead of millions or something.
The decimals are off.
Sorry, guys, I can only handle 40,000 numbers at once. So, I believe, Echo, you are driving.
Beep burp, motherfucker.
And so, indeed, beep burp. The ship's navigation kind of hums along, and at this point, it is relatively easy to traverse this part of the drift. It is open with enough of a kind of wall system to guide you along, and it's relatively easy. You can engage the autopilot if you want, at least for now. The hours begin to tick down, but all of you have about 3 days before you reach Karachi. Is there anything that you want to do at that time?
Oh, shoot. I forgot to send you the list of ship parts.
You did.
Damn, you have 2 weeks.
I updated the engineering bay, but there were a couple things that I think we can now craft that I would craft.
Okay.
Let me pull up what they actually are, but I would be working on crafting those and hanging out with Squeak and, you know.
So yeah, let me know what the crafting is going to be.
Yeah, I'll give you mine.
And then anything else people want to do before otherwise we can fast forward straight through.
So,
Potentially.
nightmare, right? Hold on, my Google search isn't working.
Yeah.
It requires somebody who sleeps. And can I Google races that don't need to sleep?
Yes. You can
Infosphere.
Infosphere search for that.
Infosphere.
Yeah, I mean, so go ahead and make a cultures check.
Because I feel like my spell failed because they don't have a resting state similar to sleep, not because I'm not catching them asleep.
Okay.
Culture?
Yeah.
16 plus 17 is 33?
33.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with a 33, you spend a little bit of time, a good amount of time, just kind of tapping away. And as you query around for this, there are a number of species that don't need to sleep. Many of them are construct in nature. That's almost universally true. There are a few that you do come away with that are not. Give me 1 second. Very specifically, shimmering are these humanoids that are formed of angular clusters of like crystal, and they look almost like walking piles of quartz in many cases. And those individuals don't need sleep. They have a very strange magic-based sort of structure. And I would say, yeah, that's primarily what it would be. There are ways that people have researched, I would say, that you can definitely find out, and the GPF did some research into this, about keeping people awake for longer. And there are certainly limitations that have been found for that. Nobody's really found ways of artificially increasing it to a like incredible rate such that you would kind of almost see it as not sleeping. But yeah, that's what you would find.
All right. Nice.
I have something I want to do, but I'll wait if you
Okay.
don't have anything you want to do.
Anybody else?
I'm upgrading my gravity pistol and then making various fusions for folks.
And so that's up to level 10, right?
I can do up to level 10 for... Well, it counts as level 12.
Right,
because
but I think it's a
plus
level 10 is the next highest upgrade for the gravity.
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's 4,000.
Yeah. Cool. Very cool. That is going to have a significantly stronger pull than the previous weapon.
Yeah.
It's I love the way that it kind of increases that the gravity weapon.
Yeah. Very
But
nice.
no problem. Yeah, you can work
And
away at
then
that.
the fusions, I guess I'll see, because I think there are a few that
And they're relatively easy to make. The ones that
Yeah.
people had mentioned so far, anyways.
Yeah.
Low.
I think there was
like
one that I
level
wanted to
one.
do.
The low
just a
ones are
little
really
more, but
good. Like, there's really
They
good.
are. They're
there's
super
one
cool.
that It lets you have 2 different crit effects, and since I already have 2 with the Horcalcum, I'm just gonna.
I
get
sort
that
of
one.
the lowest
sense.
level weapon fusions are like kind of my favorite ones.
Yeah, there
'Cause
are
they're
some
just-
good ones, and
yeah.
you can stack them with like a bunch of them. Yeah.
Fusions are cool.
Also,
They're
keeping
cool.
in mind the weapon fusions that I craft are gonna be considered as level 12 for anything that gets like added to
damaged
them.
or things like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
I never think about the crit effect.
So while you are crafting, while Echo is flying, while
Back out
Gibbs
of
is
the
doing
meta.
some infosphere research, what are you doing, Bubbles?
So I wanted to grab the chess set when we were on RP 319.
Yep.
Unfortunately, Bubs was in combat and
I
it wasn't the
stopped it.
highest priority, and also someone stomped it and ruined it on purpose. So my question is,
Table was right there.
is the game guy that Gibbs have capable of playing chess?
So you would need to purchase the game, but yeah, you can absolutely do that. It's like 5 credits.
I've got some.
It's not going to be like a cool holographic game.
no?
It really is like you're passing a game back and forth.
Okay, then Bub is gonna make a chessboard.
Okay.
And he's gonna pull a Gibbs, and he's going to like grab like probably bottle caps for pawns.
Where are you going to get those on this ship? I mean, there's not just bottle caps laying around.
I think what I'll do then actually,
Antiquated.
I will use some eat meat wrappers and maybe just like the front logo. That will be pawns. I will. What is that?
That's my yellow eyes drift dragon.
Oh,
That's a fucking lick of tongue.
I will take
No,
some
it's
Not a sponsor.
office supplies that Gibbs got from the Harbinger mission, like some paper clips, and I will form like for like the queen and the king. I think I'll make those out of paper clips and make them kind of like intricate. And then I'll probably do like for like the rook and the bishop, just like paper, like kind of like origami, but like not like super like realistic. They're more like flat to low down. Besides the king and the queen, I think they're mostly everything else is going to be just flat and low.
Okay, I will say for this, go ahead and make a engineering check, but take a +6 conditional modifier, and that is more symbolic of the fact that it's like this is not technology that you're working with. This is, mundane stuff that you have a little bit more experience and familiarity with. This is not high-tech crafting that you're doing.
Okay, +0.
Oof. In Starfinder? Yikes.
Is that cocked?
It's a 1
Sounds so.
plus
It
6.
landed right on my ring. So.
Ooh, it's almost like you shouldn't have stuff in your tray.
Yeah,
see how much-
Dan? Never.
I just gotta see the cost.
Okay, let me.
okay, that's not even better. That's worse. That's a 7 + 6.
But yeah, should be
A
able to-
13.
13.
Okay. You cobble together it takes you the better part of a day, but you cobble together a chess set that does not, to somebody who is not very familiar with chess, it will be hard to use because none of the pieces match. The colors, you went light and dark, but like as the shadows hit it, some of the pieces are transparent and others aren't, and so it shifts and doesn't quite look uniform. It's not a good chess set, but for people who know how to play chess, very functional. This would be something that like people who are stranded on a ship might make and would be seen as like a very handy use of local materials.
Bubs has confidence.
That's nice for Bubs.
Bubs will knock on Gibbs's door. Hey. Gibbs.
You want to knock
back.
back?
I don't know.
Gibbs has been like listening to the door.
Just waiting
You're
to
up.
talk to me. Oh, hello.
Hey, Gibbs, are you busy?
Not really. What's up?
Well, I figured like you taught me how to dance, and I figured like
Nice.
maybe I could teach you something.
Sure.
I'm gonna walk in, and we're in like the med bay, right?
Yeah, usually.
Okay.
That's where I linger.
So I know we have like a doctor's bed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll put the board on there. Have you ever heard of chess?
Heard of it? Yeah.
Have you ever like played it though?
No, I'm more of a checkers kind of guy.
Oh.
Girl. Lady.
Oh, Maldros wouldn't let us play.
See,
checkers.
what's nice is sometimes we would get hard candies, and when you would jump over the pieces, you got to eat the hard candy. And so the games never lasted very long because at some point we would just start eating the candy.
Oh well, let's try not maybe to eat the pieces, but like I said, I don't know. I learned a couple things about playing chess, and I mostly learned from Dr. Maldros, but I know you're like trying to like go through like all this like I don't even know what it is like. I think you're like a campaign manager maybe. I don't know, but like I Maldros always used to say that it would help with planning and like strategy and I don't know, maybe it would help or something.
Okay. So what's this one?
Oh well, the meat pucks. Those are supposed to be like pawns. Those are like, well, Maldros says those are the ones that you use to make choices for things that are important. They're not like really, the ones that are main players. And then, well, this one's the rook. This one's more of like an active role. He says those are the ones that are kind of like the defenders, the useful idiots, he used to say. And then there's the bishops, the ones that are close to power but never really seem to have the grasp on it. He said those are sometimes the best positions to be in because you're high enough to know what the power is but not enough to deal with the consequences or the reality of it. And then there's the king and the queen. I mean, those are kind of self-explanatory, right? And Bub's like, as he does, he's like explain like the rules, like which one goes where and which one goes to that.
Sure.
And so like I guess we can start. There's no like really like color on these.
Okay.
So usually the black goes first, or was it white? I'm trying to remember, but it doesn't matter. You can go first.
Okay. Like that?
Yeah, you just move the pawn like one, and Bubs will just move one of his pawns up. I don't know if it's fun.
Chess?
Yeah, I mean, it's more. I don't know. It's more of a way just to pass the time, and Bubs will just move another pawn. But I feel like, I don't know. Don't you have all this time waiting for this campaign to happen? I mean...
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to find ways to sabotage it, but maybe they know my tricks and it's not working so well. But I don't know if we can win on our own merit, so maybe this is teaching me something about that?
Bubs will move the pawn that he just moved and take Gibbs's pawn.
Ah! Are you gonna eat it?
No, Gibbs. Let's
It's
not...
like an eats meats wrapper wrapped around like a shell casing or something.
But Gibbs, I think what you need to understand is maybe there is like a useful idiot out there that maybe you can use to solve your issues. I'm not saying like, I don't know, it's like malice or anything, but sometimes you have to make hard choices, Maldros used to say. And then I'm gonna, it's your turn.
I'll move a piece up. Right, but of all the pieces, how do you decide which one is gonna get eaten? If these are all your pieces and you're gonna make that decision, and I know you're gonna take my piece.
I mean, I want to say every piece has merit. Maldros used to say, there was an old Italian saying, some earth culture, that in the end of the game, all the pieces end up in the box and they're all the same anyways, but I always thought, isn't it more important in which order you go into the box? Like, I wouldn't want to die early, but I don't know. Maybe there is not like an equity thing, but I'm learning, Gibbs, that growing up means that I have to be more selfish with my choices, and maybe you have to be a little bit more selfish to solve this issue. And Bubs is gonna move up a couple more pawns. I imagine the game like speeds up a little bit.
Pawn game.
I'm moving knife.
They're all pawns. Bubs gave you. Bubs actually gave you
Yeah,
a
wait
board.
a second. Yeah.
Bubs gave you a board where
Yeah.
you only have pawns, he only has queens, so it's pretty lopsided. But
Bubs is actually playing 40.
I don't know. I don't think me being selfish is the problem or not. You know, I feel like that's coming easier and easier the less hungry I am. It was different to focus on a base need and to know we were all suffering the same, but now that I'm happy, I know that everyone's suffering differently. There are people that are still, if we lose this election, am I responsible for the fact that Rentropy is going to ruin my home planet and which pawn's going to end up in the box? And some people's boxes are a lot nicer. I mean, look at ours. We now have a food printer.
Thank you, Martinique.
I think I've made a lot of selfish choices staying here. And, like, I know there's an easy answer for me to reassure myself that Chesterfield will kill somebody if I come back, but he scared me once because he was bigger than me. I don't feel so scared anymore. Did you like these lessons Dr. Muldross gave you? This feels fonder than I've heard you of him before.
I don't really know. My basis for what was fun was, children kind of having, combats in an underground ring, so it was a little bit different, but like you said before, you're not sure which one is really what you're supposed to be aiming your selfishness at, and like you said, you don't know how to realign your selfishness, and I have that problem too. I don't know how selfish I'm supposed to be as an adult. And I don't think in this campaign, like, obviously you're supposed to make choices, and I want you to make the right choices, but, like, I also want you to win, Gibbs. This place, obviously you care about it, and you need to do what you need to do. And obviously I'm not saying you need to, like, Bubs is gonna look down and murder anyone, but I think there's a middle ground, and Bubs is going to move up his bishop and take another bishop of Gibbs. Just like your bishop wished he had a middle ground right there.
I don't know if it's because you're staying a few steps ahead of me, but I don't see how your pieces are moving until they've already taken one of mine. And I'm worried that that's what's happening. That I'm never gonna be smart enough or fast enough or kind enough or good enough or encouraging enough or any of the things that I would need to be. And maybe selfish is one of those qualities, but at least I know here I'm distracted. Even if I'm not at the place where I'm making any decisions. Not meaningfully.
And as Gibbs moves a piece, I mean, maybe you don't have to be the best or the smartest. Sometimes all you have to do is just get someone in a position. Find out their weakness. That's how Muldross always said. He said, chess isn't about being the best or the smartest. It's about finding someone's weakness. And then at this, Bubs is going to move his queen and put Gibbs in checkmate.
Yeah. Well, I guess you found out that mine is chess.
It's alright. Mine was dancing for a little bit, but you should have saw me, Gibbs. I did so good.
Oh, man, I can't wait. I heard about the abyss that called to you. I assume that's divine inspiration.
Oh, Gibbs, you have no idea.
Yeah.
This was fun, though.
Do you want to play again?
Yeah. And as I imagine we play a couple more games, and as we do, we're just talking about the campaign and strategies, and Bub's really is trying to show an effort that he wants to be involved.
Yeah.
Gibbs feels a friendship.
No problem.
We have a friendship. I held your murder secret. It is like top tier friendship.
I don't know. After Horace Bay,
And Bubbles,
never
after
forgiven.
this time passes and you play chess with Gibbs for a little bit, and that time ends and you go off to do whatever you do and Gibbs goes off to do whatever they're going to do, you feel like you are on the right track after having that conversation with Echo to really actually spending time to get to know people.
Yeah.
It's nice. These have been some of the times where there hasn't been violence or death or destruction. There's maybe something to that. But anything else as these days pass by?
Shade is going to ping Echo on the Whispercom
Okay.
from the engineering bay. Just still crafting, working, hanging out with Squeak.
Sure.
I can't find a price for that. I'll just Google it.
It's about 3,000.
Can we afford that?
Yes.
Nice.
A little under tree fitting.
Yes, I've already processed it, so just add it to your sheet.
Do I have to attach it to something? I have to
You
pick
have
a
to-
weapon to attach it
yes.
to, right? Okay. Cool.
So yeah, I ping Echo, and then I wait.
Yes, Captain.
I am curious how much the director knows. So I stayed in the engineering bay.
To what are you referring?
The footage containing Lydell, Miss Williams, and the unknown K baby.
Why do you believe the director would have information about this?
It is highly unlikely that an anomaly we encountered could have been so circumstantial as what we found there, relative to the ongoing situation that we now find ourselves in.
You are suggesting that we were perhaps not lost in the drift and just misled.
It is a possibility I am considering.
It is indeed a possibility. The chances are slim.
The chances
That we would
of
find such a thing.
encountering such a thing at all are slim, let alone something that gives us, me, highly valuable information.
It is an interesting thought. I do not think we will get much information from the director until we have been... There's like brackets appearing. Cleared. For such. Do you suspect ulterior motives that may not align with our well-being?
I have considered that possibility. However, there is something more concerning to me, personally.
What is that?
Given the unknown origins of my whereabouts, the previous footage recently discovered, which I have been able to, thankfully, defragment into one of the 3 filing systems that I have begun after my conversations with Spice. But someone knows more. And with what we are learning about Mosaic, it seems more and more likely that there's some involvement there. There is unrest within me. I do not want to be a pawn.
I believe that is unavoidable. Without more information, whatever we do, however we act, especially at the behest of others, means we will remain so.
Which is why I seek more information from the director and anyone else who will provide it.
To do so means you remain the director's pawn.
I want to know who this K is. There's a familiarity there, but watching that footage felt different. A familiarity, but not in the same way as I have experienced in previous instances.
William the Pleaser is not the only information dealer. After all, the Carbon Cartel is very active on the Sin Crawler and has mentioned this illegal lockout ring. It seems as though you do have some connection to it, or at least your biological parts do.
That is very likely. Yet I still do not know what to do.
I believe discretion would be best.
As always.
As I am seeking similar styles of information in the fact of origins and makers and disappearances. Perhaps there is something similar there.
Then we must continue.
Very well. The hours tick by on your drift navigation clock. And Spice, what do you want to do?
Spices, while everybody's having deep conversations, you see, we pan over to Spice in the armory who has, like, locked the door, and it's like, all right, director, I need a full immersion monster card deck. And she gets really into online monster card playing, and she is, like, trying to learn how to use her yellow eyes drift dragons.
So,
But, like, door locked, like, fully immersed in VR.
Why are our company credits decreasing at such a rapid rate?
The director would let you know that there are, in fact, like, special machines that you would need to do to really get involved in this in the way that you're talking about. But there is a communicator
light
application that you can use that
Okay.
you can scan in your cards and you
Got
can kind of play with other
microtransactions
people.
though.
Yeah.
You're gonna be real broke.
It certainly does. It certainly does. And so, you know, you
Gotta
can
wait
definitely
10
get
minutes for
started.
energy to refill.
Make a cultures check.
Oh, don't I fucking do. This is, I wasn't planning. Alright, here we go.
That one time I got really involved in Puzzle and Dragon.
Cultures. Let's see here. 19, 24.
24. Yeah, no problem. You can kind of sink into the culture of this game. And as you do, you find a pretty easy path where you don't really need to spend any credits. It will be kind of slower progression, but you have a pretty good way of like min-maxing it so you can rise through the levels pretty quickly, get some of the good cards. No problem.
Gonna plateau though.
I just like want to get good. She's just practicing the game at this point.
Okay, no
Because she
problem.
was like, all right, now I want to like, now that she's like played 4 days nonstop, she's like, all right, I got the hang of it now.
Standard decks. Are
I would say beyond is getting the hang of it. I mean, you're spending 4 straight days playing this
Not
game
sleeping.
essentially, and so like, assuming that you do sleep, because it would start to really take a
feel
toll
like-
after 4 days.
After that amount of time, I feel like I would be like,
Bubs would check.
yeah, I would ping to Bubs and be like, could you check on Spice?
She's only speaking in Player 1, go! God damn it, I can't believe they played that card! I'm gonna slam you with the fucking
left
gorgeous
the-
the mad!
Armory in 4 days.
She has
The
requested
Canyon
room
Drake is
service.
gonna get you!
We do not have room service.
We have room service?
We do not.
Oh.
I
It's a
can hear her yelling through the
I
door.
choose Twilight Rebirth!
yeah. I didn't.
Yes, I got it!
I never knew how non-soundproof the armory was. I thought you guys wouldn't be able to hear us.
No, we hear you all the time.
Um,
We're all just really polite and never mention it or say anything about it.
Your vigorous sparring is well known.
The
Oh,
dual layers of
that
the
is
ship
beautiful.
Yeah.
creates a vacuum within. But
Well, everything's made out of metal and it's really echoey sometimes. No
yeah.
pun intended.
But yeah, I've been just like, slipping like meat pucks underneath like the door slit to Gibbs, to Spice, and like I think the best thing like
Wait, how do I get that service?
I think we can deal with that later. I think the best thing for Spice, guys, is like sometimes when she like works herself up like this, is just like let her just keep doing this until like she gets all the energy out, and then she tires herself out, and I carry her to bed because that's usually what happens.
How are you gonna carry her to bed when the door's locked?
I mean,
what you just described is a 4-day manic episode.
I mean, look, I'm not perfect either. She's really like into it, and like I
It's
want
not
to
hurting anyone.
support her hobbies.
Yeah.
With the 24, you don't quite collapse into the shit bucket territory, but you definitely get real into it.
Bubs is the ultimate enabler.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It doesn't get bad to the point where it's like concerning, but you're grateful for the fact that you don't start this 6 days out instead of 3.5.
Bubs will probably open the armory door. Is it? I don't want to break the door though. Babe, I do really have to get in there. Can you open the door?
She's not listening. She's like, yes, I got him! You're dead! You're dead!
Director, is there any
Got you! Next player, let's go! Re-rack!
Director, is there any way you can open the armory door?
The door is manually locked from the inside.
I don't want to break the door, but
Ooh, remember that door we opened in the hollow husk? Let's just do the same thing. If a meat puck fits under the door, and Gibbs does the coat hanger thing you do with cars.
okay. Yeah,
I didn't mean
Sure,
for this to
sure,
turn
sure.
into a scene.
No, it's good.
Sorry,
No, it's good.
everybody.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and Gibbs for me make a.
We're doing a
sleight of hand
wellness check.
I mean, but sleight of hand to make a wellness check. Yes.
Sleight of hand.
I like bullshit fuller stuff.
Yeah,
Sit up
this
like
is,
the
this
coat
is a
hanger.
full
16.
Start
16,
wiggling
okay.
around under the door.
Can I assist?
With a +4 conditional modifier from Bubbles, you are able to. It takes you
gotta
a
bend it
good
first.
half an hour of like taking this coat hanger and moving it around. And at one point, you're about to get there, and then you flex it a little too much, and it snaps. You have to go get a new one and do the whole process all over again. But eventually, you
These are my
absolutely
medical coat hangers
are
too.
able to. At the same time, as Spice screeches out at a loss, you flick the lock, and you're able to swing the door open. And the smell is not great. It is meat pucks and body odor, and just the general armory smells, which are already not great.
Remind me of college.
I like to
Josh.
imagine Bubs and Gibbs can like collapse into the door as we like unlock it.
Wrappers, everything. It's great in here for you, Gibbs.
Babe. Bubs is like.
I play Jarl's Cup, and I take your monster card. Thank you, the referees. Yes. Sir, that's a red card on the field. Did you see that?
Bubs is gonna like try to sneak up behind her and try to just like take the.
I was gonna assist by taking the device.
Okay.
So it's like a two-pronged approach.
Well, I imagine it's like,
You're
I
doing
feel like it's
mobile
like
version.
AR or VR, but like full. I don't know. I'm imagining it's like a projection of like
Yeah.
you're in it.
So there's no control.
No,
Right.
not really.
No, I'm like imagining
so
I'm
what
in a
you're imagining
sphere.
is like the really cool version that was like built specifically for this arcade that you guys were in. What you have is a card game on a mobile device.
Okay,
And
okay,
like,
okay.
you can definitely sink into it, and especially with the armory lights off and nobody else bothering you.
Okay.
You can really get into it. But now that everybody's like busted in here, it is just a screen, and you're pretty tired. It's like hard to hold on
She
with two
got
people
bags
fighting
under
you.
her
Yeah.
eyes.
It's like dry.
She's like still playing as Gibbs
For
is trying to
trying.
pick it up. She's like,
I'm there. Did you see that referee? Did you see it?
Babe.
Spice, you're doing so good, so cool.
follows
This is
it.
so nice.
She's
Bubs is-
speaking in
They gave me the card.
Bub is gonna kind of like, as Gibbs is pulling it away, kind of like get in front of Spice and Gibbs. Babe. You know, you're really good at that game, and I think you're gonna be like a dual card master one day. But like even dual card masters need to take a break sometimes.
She's like doing that thing where her eyes were so focused on the screen that she's like having a hard time focusing.
Like the dimensions.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah, and she's like kind of heard Bubbles, but it's also like still halfway immersed in the game.
Spice, even the best athletes cross-train. You know what game you could cross-train with? Chess. Cool, super cool game I learned about. And you can eat the pieces.
No, Gibbs, did you eat the pieces? I told you not to eat the pieces.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So, okay.
I bet I'd kick ass at that game too.
Right. Okay, here, and Gibbs, like, tries to recreate it, but it does it, like, much shittier because she's doing it, like, 3 minutes.
No roll required. Yeah, you just get some garbage
But,
out
like,
from under
uses
your
the
bed.
scavenger profession as,
Yeah.
like, like, look at this cool chessboard Bubbles made, but it's, like, the shitty knockoff version of his already shitty knockoff version.
It's in some ways, I would say, it's kind of better because this is your media, But it's actually probably about the same.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Bubs taught me to play it. He'll teach you to play it, and then we can do tournament style, or
so good at
we could do 2v1. Don't know how. Or we could put like
I'm listening.
we could
I'm
put
listening.
2 chessboards on top of each other and play 4-way chess, so we can get Echo or Shade in this.
All right,
Yeah.
sold.
Cool. Hyped up chess enough to make it interesting.
Sounds dope.
As this is happening, Bubs is thinking.
The game is referred to as Birdhouse.
As this is happening, Bubs.
4-player chess.
Oh, dope.
Bubs is thinking in his head, does Spice have issues with competition and like gambling?
Now you could.
Bubbles, you go back through your mind.
We've been
you
through this.
Think about every single time somebody mentions a casino or gambling, and in the background of that mental image is Spice snapping to attention. And there might be something to that. You think about running away from the casino that you robbed.
I do like gambling.
Like it all like
Think about all
comes
the
together.
aces
To
that are all over
Wait
the
a
bedroom
second.
floor.
It's all the math and like that meme.
Babe, maybe like we could not play like a competitive. We could just draw or like I don't know like I don't know. There's this really cool game called like 101 pickup sticks. It's really fun. It's basically cleaning, but like you make the mess.
I've heard of that one, but with cards. 52 cards on the floor.
Gibbs, you and I have played this before.
Yeah, I know. It's my favorite. Normally because I eat them.
Gibbs, why do you keep eating all the meeples and cards and what?
You know mouthfeel? It's like sometimes when you put
45
things in your mouth, I just want to hold them there, but then I salivate and my mouth becomes slippery and they just slip down my gullet. And I haven't suffered any consequences from it yet. So I just keep doing it.
I worked with this patient once.
Alright, I'm sorry I derailed the campaign so hard. I did not mean to do it.
No.
Do you ever wonder how something's gonna feel in your mouth? Like you can't feel things, but can you feel things in your mouth? Wait, you can feel things. Can't you feel things? Which ones can't you do? You can see. You can't smell. Can you feel things?
Yes, Gibbs. I can feel things. It's been a little bit harder lately. I remember I went to you. Actually, I was complaining about that.
Right. So like, is that better?
Well, no, not really. I've been losing more of the senses on my hand. I don't know what it is, but
You think it's like, and I'll take out your hand, like calluses? You're getting stronger, or you think your bubble's getting stronger and it's overtaking you as a person?
Bubs is gonna take back his hand because he didn't really just like want his hand to be fiddled and touched with. Gibbs, I think it's nothing. I think I'm just overworked. But maybe you're right. I think it'd be really fun to play a game with each other. While we're waiting, and maybe like a non-competitive game.
Non-competitive. Okay, not hide and seek. Not I Spy. War, definitely not that.
I'm sure we can.
Dungeons and Dragons, perhaps.
I'm sure we'll go through the motions and we'll find a game that is not
I heard about
Yeah,
this
Starfinder.
antiquated
Make a
game
cultures check,
from Old
Bubbles.
Earth.
Let's see how fun this game is.
2 days
17
out. I want to call a team meeting for the
plus
last-
9, 26.
26. Okay.
What game do we come up with?
With the 26, you recall a game that you and the other children would play sometimes in the very rare occasions in which you could get these little data slates away from the more like functional uses. And there was a game where somebody would write a sentence and you pass it to somebody else, and then they would draw a picture and delete the sentence, and you pass it to the next person, and they like write a sentence and delete the picture, and it goes on until it gets back to you, and it's like a funny picture now. And it's almost like telephone, and it's like it's a pretty decent game that you can play it. It's not really competitive. There's no points. It's just a fun time, and you guys can absolutely do that for a little bit. 2 days out, rewinding a little bit. 2 days out, Shade calls a meeting.
I meant for like the last day.
Okay, last day. No
So
problem.
that people had some like forewarning that there's going to be a meeting coming
Gotcha,
up.
gotcha,
You
gotcha.
scheduled the meeting.
I appreciate. You know what? I do appreciate that. I hate last minute meetings. So
Yeah,
I feel
right?
you.
Fucking
No problem. So yeah, you pre-schedule a meeting, and then on the last day, with about 16 hours left, where are you guys meeting for this?
In the living room?
yeah, probably the
Underneath the
Common
Christmas
space.
tree.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
We have a woe.
very nice.
Boo.
Yas. I made a charcuterie board.
we will be arriving in 1 day.
Oh wow, that's
You guys ready for some fucking lookout?
Are you ready to be Miss and Mars and
Girl, I was
Whatever.
made to be Miss Valentine.
guys. I think maybe we should just go over our identities and what we're trying to respect for the mission one more time.
That was my intention for calling this meeting.
nice? We're already so in sync. Look at that.
Wow,
Killing it.
look at us.
I would also like to take the opportunity to reinstate your privileges as medical officer.
Oh!
Oh, wow, yeah! Oh, nice!
Everybody's just looking at you. Just looking
I made
around.
such a big fucking deal about it, but never suffered the consequences of it. Yay! Thank you so much. Do you feel healed? I did all my paperwork before.
Spice, I am officially promoting you to diplomatic officer. However, given the current situation
When you say however.
in this mission, discretion is utmost. And so we all need to be on the same page.
Are you sure you didn't mean captain? Because I'm still listening. And she holds up her ears mockingly for the podcast
is-
listeners.
Be grateful for diplomatic.
She doesn't even.
To maintain our cover.
I know. I fucked up so bad with Echo that one time. You
Do
think I'm
not-
gonna make that mistake again? Because I don't.
It is also highly likely that there are contacts aware of my presence that we are not aware of.
Of your presence, of Echo's presence.
I have history here, but I do not know to what extent. That is an incredibly volatile variable.
So what I hear you're saying is you're gonna have to rely on us a little bit more because you, if you go out with all your distinguished and defining features that are gonna be difficult to disguise, you're gonna have a tough time.
I'm confused. What are you asking?
I believe that there are elements about the situation that we find ourselves in that we still do not know enough about.
Lockout kind of triggered you the last time, didn't it?
Hey, you're gonna have another seizure
Hey.
on the dance floor?
Be nicer about that.
Sorry.
The footage that we recently found relates back to the moment back on Aura's Bay during the lockout race. Seeing it has disturbed me in some way. However, it has also helped to piece together some elements of my fragmented memories.
Maybe this will help you too. Being somewhere you might have been. Probably were been.
You saw the footage.
Mm-hmm.
There are elements of myself that are dangerous, that we still do not know about.
You know what I think? And she just like turns her gaze over to Echo. You saw what I saw on his eyes memory camera. Can you connect that to anybody you know? On Garachi? Garachi.
I would say without, I mean, you don't need to make a check really because you saw the face of that person and you saw the kind of shadowy outline of the other one. They didn't stand out as anybody that immediately jump out as familiar to you.
So their stories are not connected so far as we know.
I didn't recognize either of them, right?
Okay. But both of them are intertwined.
Make a
in
cultures
this.
check.
I do not know either of the figures in Shade's vision.
Do you have someone that we can stay with, though, that you feel safe around?
Oh, I guess I'll use my reroll because it's the day before.
Yeah.
The
there
day
you go.
before.
16 hours out.
Dirty 21.
Okay, 21. Much better.
Ooh.
21.
Drinking alcohol legally.
You do not recognize any of them. For a second, you're like, wait,
Depends on
wasn't
which
she in
race
that
it's
soap
Starfinder.
commercial? But no, it's somebody completely different.
Guys, I think we can play, who's this person 100 times as we want, but I think, like Gibbs asked Shade, I think we need to get back to, the heart of this meeting. What do you expect for us, Captain?
I expect you to stick to the mission.
As far as a base of operations, as Spice has so graciously mentioned, I do not have a contact that exists on the crawler anymore. The mechanic has unfortunately taken their activities off of this station.
Damn.
However, that does potentially leave their shop unattended.
Oh,
Ooh.
Unattended and maybe under supervision. Like,
What? Do you know why they left, though?
No, and the circumstances are suspicious.
Okay. All right.
All I'm saying is there is a potential place where we could make modifications to our tendon slicers. However, it is likely monitored.
How much did we go over about the mechanic shop?
Like, you and I separately?
Yeah.
A bit.
Okay, just making sure. Wasn't sure how many details.
You and
there
I
were.
on camera, though. Not that much, I don't think.
It's okay.
yeah, Echo,
that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, Echo, that sounds really good. I think that should be our starting point. What do you think, Captain?
It may be prudent to perform some reconnaissance before setting.
Oh my god, you say that every time. You don't trust anybody, do you?
Reconnaissance is important,
Given
but
the fact that Echo's contact has abandoned the area, it is likely that someone unsavory would have moved in.
The
Or be
message
keeping
that they
eyes on.
sent, that they left behind, was generalized. They referred to the contact as Echo. Whenever they would speak with us, they would use our numbers.
So it was all the echoes? They're referring to all?
It is also a useful message. It is not safe, and it is being watched.
Oh,
So we can't stay there?
We can potentially, but with the knowledge.
well, that seems like the plan to beat, at least for now. What do you
Okay.
guys think? What about you, Captain?
Call me Miss
I
Valentine.
spent like 2+ years there, so
Yeah.
We'll enter into the inner orbit and then make a precautionary reconnaissance mission.
and the goal being, we're gonna check out Echo's mechanic
Ascertain
shops.
whether this area is safe for us to settle for the time being.
But the
As
goal
we make a plan.
ultimately is integration in the community to the point where we can ask questions without raising suspicion for the actual bounty, correct?
Yes, we will not rush things. We will settle in, find out about our scenario, the situation in the crawler, find out about this lockout tournament, find out about Hardcore Henry, and keep an eye out for any local crime organizations, especially.
As a reminder, we are a lockout team with the name Neon Wraiths. It would make sense that we would want to find a base for our team to keep their ships safe, especially on such a volatile ship. It would make sense that we have scouted out the mechanic shop as a viable space in which to house our craft.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
If we are challenged, that is a suitable cover.
Heard.
Which leads back to the utmost priority of discretion and maintaining our cover for the time being.
Let's go over names real quick again. Do you remember? Does everybody remember the names? Because I do.
I do.
All right.
And I followed you all on social media, and I posted a picture of our ship.
Yeah.
And look at this one over the antique shop. Isn't that cool?
I love what they've done to our profiles. They've really stacked them really well.
And it's all artificial and kind of generated, but I mean, they wanted to make you at least look a little bit interesting and have some depth to the personality profiles, and they're quite extensive. I mean, there's
added
resources
mine.
added to this.
You can tell because every picture's got my tail in it for some reason. It's like someone's thumb. It's just a tail.
Yeah, but I remember everyone's name. Gibbs is Trinket. You're Miss Valentine.
Yes.
You're MRS 1256.
6'5".
1265.
665.
I like that everybody jumped on you, and you were so confident about that.
And you're Leona Baccio.
And you're Johnny Quasar.
Yeah, but
AKA That's my nickname for you.
babe, we already have so many pet nicknames. Come on.
But mine's Trinket with 2 Y's.
Yes.
Well, that's
You
very.
gotta pronounce the second Y.
I will do
To
that.
ink it.
But guys, back to the main topic. I think we have a good starting plan. I think Shade's right that we have to have some reconnaissance, and I think Echo is also right about doing this hangar base and starting out there. But I think the one thing that Shade forgot to mention is that we're not just here for Hardcore Henry. We're also here for the Project Cuttlefish.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Director Wu and Admiral
Whoa.
Wu mentioned that specifically.
Isn't it Woe?
Admiral Woe, yeah.
Wu.
Kelvin
It
Woe.
is likely that by pursuing Hardcore Henry and the rest of our ultimate objectives, we will encounter at least information regarding the cuttlefish.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does not change our current position of finding a place to settle safely.
But where there's smoke, there's cuttlefish.
I don't
there's
think
sea
that's
creatures,
a thing
there's
people say,
cuttlefish.
Gibbs.
You ever heard the song Oil on Water? It's basically that.
I have also spent some time upgrading each of your equipment. I have left the pieces in the armory for you.
Thanks, this looks
Awesome.
dope.
Can't wait to use it against my enemies. All right, watch me get a job as a bartender. I'm gonna be so good at it.
Oh, well, babe, maybe we should stay away from bars.
No, isn't that the whole fucking point? Is you need me to integrate? Like the way we absolutely failed so hard.
And Echo, for what it's worth, now thinking about the makeup of the Zin crawler, there aren't a lot of jobs specifically. And so the idea of finding a job would almost make you stand out. I mean, a lot of people who are here are smugglers, are associated with the carbon cartel. I mean, you do know, Echo, of there is a place in the spine where people typically gather and congregate to try to get passage off of the Zin crawler.
I would remind all of you that Auras Bay and the Zin Crawler are not synonymous.
Oh.
If you were to go around asking if you could apply for jobs on the Zin Crawler, you would more than likely be beaten and robbed and
Okay,
left
so
for
I
dead.
just need to
Maybe your parts sold off for useful matters elsewhere on the black market.
I will once again take this opportunity to remind yourselves that our priority is discretion and maintaining our cover.
The best job we have is the one that
Lockout?
exists. We
Yeah,
are a
okay.
lockout team. If we want to go out drinking and show off our bartending skills, it is because we wish to show off and promote our team.
Fuck yeah. Can't wait.
You guys are government-sponsored partying and committing crimes.
Yeah.
It's the dream.
I'm here for it.
Maybe we should just, try to stay away from, bars and drinking. I really want this mission to succeed.
Bubs, how much do you know about lockout teams?
As much as we played on Oris Bay.
Drinking is part of the culture.
Oh. Yeah.
That being said, being awake and sober for your race is also part of the culture.
I hear you.
But other people who are drinking have looser lips. But we want to make sure when we're drinking, our lips are not.
We need to
Drinking.
retain the information.
Oh
that
my
we
god,
Yeah.
I've heard that 1,000 times. It's been drilled into my head.
When does it sting in? How many times?
Never.
I'm really good at mole style. I'm gonna drill in real hard.
You know what I am? I'm the best liar out of all of us. I can
Which
tell
is
you
why
that.
I promoted you to diplomatic officer. And
I
captain.
hate that you use the word promotion. Zip it, Captain. I don't want to hear another fucking word. And Spice leaves the room.
So that seems like a good enough ending point.
You want some cheese?
We'll be arriving in less than 24 hours.
Yes, Captain.
I plan to use the reconnaissance mode that we had previously used. Echo, you'll go out. Be ready in the morning.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
You break off from this group, Spice a little earlier than the others, and a little bit more dramatically than the others. The hours tick by, and if there's nothing further that you want to do, they can tick all the way down to 0.
I bet Squeak.
I check the garden.
You what?
I eat my
garden.
No
cheese.
problem. Okay.
Initiate
Water and
Squeak petting protocols.
All right.
You have enough water for the next couple days?
So, almost at once, as this hits 0, the drift drops away like a bad dream of galactic dust and is replaced by this galactic backdrop of stars and darkness that is the Milky Way. I would say, go ahead and Echo for me, make a piloting check.
Gladly.
I love this new echo piloting.
Yeah, damn.
Just kidding. I'm kidding. What is
It's a
it?
natural 20
Oh, okay. I thought it was too low.
for a total of 40.
Explodes.
Oh my god, yeah.
There is a single splotch of darkness that shifts across the stars, and it would be almost imperceptible, but Echo, as you drop out of the drift, the swirling luminescent clouds dropping away draws your eyes to this single dark moving shape. And as you concentrate on that, the director says, "Warning, we are being searched."
What?
With a natural 20, just as you had planned to do when you dropped into the system, you shove all the systems down into the low power mode that Bubbles had previously identified. And with a natural 20, you watch as a massive ship separates from the shadows, coming into the most localized star's light. This is a huge ship, and across your heads-up display, the transponder reads "The Crusty Cutlass."
Nice.
It is a brass and purple ship that is pockmarked with various injuries from battles. This is probably closer to a dreadnought, at least a class size larger than your ship, if not 2. And there are lights that pop on and begin to scan across the space. You can see sweeping across elements of debris. With that natural 20, Echo, there is a small ping that comes from elsewhere within this local system. And in what is known as Garachi's... Oh, gosh, give me 1 second here.
Gotta do some lore drop for this nat 20.
I mean, it's a pretty good thing. Okay. Around the planet itself, there is something called the Low Orbit Debris Interference Field, also known as the Low Diff. It is a field of debris that it's accumulated across a variety of different things. There was a quashed rebellion probably about 10 years ago that definitely contributed a pretty good amount to it. But the ping is coming from within there. And this is a pretty dangerous place to kind of inhabit. What makes it so instantly kind of pulling to you is the fact that this is not just like a transponder. It is a very specific radio signal, and it is one that belongs within the workshop of the mechanic,
Nice.
Coming from the Krusty Cutlass?
coming from the debris field that
Coming
is
from the
around
debris field.
Karachi.
Mm.
Okay.
How much of this is being broadcast to the rest of the ship? Like, did the director say?
This is just in the cockpit.
Yeah, Echo's keeping it like fairly quiet and is probably just using localized comm systems,
Sure.
just to not set off any scanners.
The only thing I would say that all of you notice then is the lights go off and then shift back up into the emergency blue lighting. That indicates low power. Echo had said that they were going to do this before, and so it shouldn't really be surprising, but you would all definitely notice that.
Yeah.
Imagine Bubs is in the armory with Spice, yes? No?
Yeah, Spice is gaming.
Spice, Infosphere connection, dead.
In the middle of the game!
Please.
That's the only noise that echoes now. The engines have cut out. The generator for like the air is cut out. All you hear is just that screech.
Gib's gonna hang out in the cockpit because she's got nowhere else to be.
Okay.
But she's in her costume.
Echoing noises will be picked up by scanners. Please. Quiet.
Spice just like lowers her head in shame.
I am picking up a localized signal from the debris field surrounding Karachi.
Let's go.
It is where I intend to head.
Let's follow it, no?
If we head in that direction, is that going to set off this Krusty Cutlass?
The dreadnought is passing by, but sure enough, as you kind of hang your head in shame, Spice, there is even audible across the entire hull a splash as sonar strikes across, and had you not rolled that natural 20, almost certainly you would have been picked up. But the screech dies down in time, and that natural 20 keeps you out of a ship combat as the dreadnought
Nice.
skirts on past by. And no, you can
Wait.
make your way directly over, as long as you don't make a tremendous amount of noise in doing so.
Well, I'm just gonna say, so Spice knows the Krusty Cutlet as a... So... never mind. I thought it was Spice screaming, not her.
Yeah. It's
Whoa,
because you
sorry.
lost the game.
Okay, got it. Okay, I was like, when I heard that, I was like, what does this have to do with Spice's backstory? Never mind.
Nothing.
All right, yeah.
Your immediate backstory of wanting to be the very best. Like,
Yes. Like no one ever was.
Not a sponsor.
Then I would say to Echo, can you follow the signal?
Easily enough. It is the debris field that will provide some issue. However, it will also provide some venerable cover.
Do you want more cover?
Not at the moment. Anything else would cause us to draw suspicion.
What if it didn't?
I believe we are fine. The
Okay.
sonar would have located us.
Sounds good.
And you felt that in like the hull of the ship on the floor as that like struck across. It's a very powerful audio signal. And in space, there's no interference. So it strikes true. But no
Gib
problem.
slowly puts her Gib's keyboard down. Is like, okay, standing down.
Echo, you make your way. And as you get closer to the low diff field and these little tiny bits of debris begin to kind of burn up against your shield, the radio signal shifts and it drops in frequency, and it drops so low you can barely keep it. And make an engineering check, Echo.
Just like
Yes!
watching from the
New dice equals good dice.
like Squeaks in the passenger seat, Echo's in the pilot, and I'm just kind of standing in
I
between.
imagine me and Spice will join in the cockpit as well.
34.
Okay.
New dice
So
is good
everybody
dice.
is now in the
No,
cockpit, even
Fine.
Squeak.
Okay.
And for all of you, as you look at the scanners and as you approach this field of debris and larger pieces certainly kind of within and ominously booking up, there are the scanners barely change. And so nobody, including you, Shade, pick up that this is something happening here. But for you, Echo, clear as day, you see this very, very faint radio signal drop down to an incredibly low frequency. And with a 34, this is not a low frequency. This is a coordination that is pulling you down below the field proper, and then the field shifts again, and it's a much higher frequency. And if that were coordinates, that would be a little bit further into the debris field. And you recognize as this radio signal that really, if you were tuned into it, would really just sound like warble, is a slow repeat of coordinates. And this will allow you safe transit straight through to whatever is releasing the signal.
Are there any objections to following this granted mysterious signal and deviating from the mission as we head towards the planet?
Adventure.
Do you trust it? Do you get good vibes from it? Check your gut.
Make a sense motive check.
Nice. I help. By...
Yeah, I can. Well, you're good because
You can take
operatives
2 plus 0 conditional
you-
modifiers.
get nice.
Are you sharing the coordinates? And if so, are those...
It's not even coordinates, so it's really just like it's noise. It's noise on the scanners that Echo is only picking up because this is from a radio frequency that is of the type that belongs to a very specific radio that exists in the mechanic shop.
It's a radio going.
18.
Boo! Wait, that's it.
18.
Okay. With an 18, it's weird that this is coming from within the debris field in and of
weird.
itself. That being said, you are aware, I would say, of the fact that there are mechanical components to the garage proper, to this shop, that you have no real understanding or explanation for. And with everything that's kind of happening right now, it's not impossible that it was built to move.
Nope.
And if that's the case, then I mean, the amount of energy it would need is tremendous, but it could potentially separate from Zen. Moon is much easier to get off of, especially one without atmosphere. And so perhaps that is where the workshop is. You follow the coordinates.
I trust Echo's gut.
I'm gonna
Free action.
squeak onto my lap, get in the co-pilot seat, and assist however I can.
Can I
Get
sense
the real,
motive?
like,
You can. And actually,
emotional support
Shade,
animal
why don't you
going.
make a sense motive check as well?
Everyone sensed their
Can I
motives.
look around the actual debris field with my
Make a
eyeballs and
perception check with your
binoculars?
actual eyeballs and take a +1
Oh,
additional
hey! I also got an extremely high
Amazing.
roll.
I just want to hold Spice's hand because I'm
Okay.
a little bit nervous.
That's a free action.
Nice. I'm gonna
Plus,
do that.
take a +2 to that.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
So
it's
I'm
probably
gonna hold
at
both
least
hands.
Oh, okay.
Spice's
They're
hand
flat.
is
It's
not
gotta at least
sweaty.
be
You're not
a
proficient in
move
dual
action,
wielding.
right?
What was your perception check?
31 with my eyeballs and binoculars.
Damn. You pull up these bottle binoculars and clink right against the viewpoint port. And as you do, you scan out, and as Echo makes their way through the debris field, there are huge chunks of like burnt up starships. There are elements of broken rock. At
Lockout
one point,
ships.
you're pretty sure that you see what looks like pants just kind of flutter by. You see a lot of things, and I think the thing that you see that really draws your attention is exactly what you were heading for. Very inexplicably, in the middle of this debris field, you can see a floating platform, not terribly dissimilar. It's much smaller than the one that Lola's Diner is purchased on. It is a flat kind of platform of steel that is definitely intended to land ships on, and your ship can fit, no problem. Probably 2 or 3 of your ships could fit across the outside and the surface. You can see arranged out front, there's a raised walkway that's designed for ships that have high docking bays to kind of get out onto. You can see out in front there are elements of like canisters and crates that are kind of strewn about the way. There is almost no lights on. And so it's very hard for you to see. You're really seeing first along the scanners and then really and trying to like correspond what you're seeing. But you see all that as you approach for sure.
Look there! Ta-da! I pointed out to everybody to see
Point all that
exactly
out.
what I see.
And Echo, as you're listening to this, the one thing that is conspicuously absent is the very, very unique shuttle that the mechanic would typically have that would normally be parked out front. Gibbs says nothing about a shuttle. That being said, with that natural 20, as you sense motive, there is a noticeable quietness, and it's not just the lack of air coming through. It is too quiet, and you recognize that Squeak is entirely still. And the hair along their back is a little bit bristled, and they seem to be very on edge as they approach. And it's only when you get a little bit closer. They don't seem especially bothered by the field. It's just getting especially close, almost like there is something that's really bothering them, and that stands out. There is some kind of danger around that Squeak is sensing.
Bad vibes.
Nothing is picking up on the scanners. There's no life forms. So for what it's worth, as you get close enough to be in range, there's no life aboard the ship.
Echo, wait. Something is off.
Send Squeak down. Just kidding.
What?
But also just kidding.
What? You think Squeak is hearing a frequency that's causing him to feel danger? Or... No, I know. Oh, I see what you're saying. Never mind.
There is something about this place that is dangerous, perhaps a trap. We should stay back a little bit and proceed with caution. I will prepare one of the tendon slicers in case anything comes.
Shuttle, not tendon slicer.
Perhaps if I were to take the shuttle down.
Yeah, that seems like a good plan.
What's up with you guys and going alone into danger, though? If we suspect danger, why would you
I
go
will
alone?
follow in the tendon slicer.
Don't risk a tendon slicer. This is reconnaissance, is it? Tit?
No,
This is
If
why.
this is a trap, we will need weaponry.
Okay, so let's all jump in a tendon slicer then.
If you don't mind. I would very much like to see what has become of my friend.
Alone? Or with company?
That is up to you.
All right, family, let's all pack into the shuttle. Let's go.
Wait. Proceed alone.
Are you kidding
We
me?
will provide backup as necessary.
How could you?
Is that an order, Captain?
Yes.
It's the wrong choice to
Yeah,
make.
boo. All right, Spice is gonna go into the shuttle.
Okay, I'll help prepare the ship, Captain, and Bubs will get going to. Are you taking the shuttle or the tendon?
Shuttle.
Bubs will just get it ready, open the door
I'm
and
gonna whisper calm.
all the other stuff.
I will have a tendon slicer ready.
Shade. As Bubbles gets out and begins to work on the shuttle, it's almost a straight shot from when the doors are all open from the cockpit back to where that's stored. And so you can kind of see Bubbles getting stuff ready. And as Bubbles gets closer to the shuttle, Squeak hops off your lap and takes a couple steps forwards and then turns. And you can see their ears are back. They're still definitely on guard, but they're looking at you. And then they kind of, their little corgi feet tap along the deck as they get closer to the shuttle and then look back at you again.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay.
Squeak's trying to lead me somewhere.
Squeak walks across these decks, and eventually,
my
Bubbles,
life.
you hear these little Squeak makes their way into the shuttle.
Squeak, what are you doing? You're not.
Mosaic Team 6.
And their ears
Move
are
over.
down, and their tail is between their leg, but they are sitting right at the edge of the shuttle.
Squeak wants to go.
No, Squeak definitely does not want to go.
Well, why is he on the shuttle?
Make a
then?
sense motive check.
To lead you.
Shade, your dog's here.
I'm pretty sure it's your dog.
It's your dog. Motherfucker.
I got that for you, for the record.
And then you guys were a little busy to take care of it, so Shade bonded with it.
Sense motive?
Yeah.
17?
Okay.
Nice.
With a 17, as Spice says, this dog is trying to bring you, almost certainly that is what's happening. And you see this dog, terrified, does not want to be on this shuttle, but recognizing that people are getting ready to go, having been left behind on the ship again and again and again, and seeing that you are once again just kind of staying behind, this dog has led you to this shuttle and is willing to get on to try to get you aboard as well.
Shade, protect your family. The rest of us here. Back Echo up.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
If we are all going,
I was trying
should
to
we
get
not
back
just
up.
take the director?
Yeah, I think we should just park our ship and walk onto the thing and open the door like real ass people. And maybe we bring some cookies.
It's not like a dot. Well, it's a okay.
We're going to an unknown friend's house, so we hope.
I love your
Something's
thought.
still off.
Let's print some shit out.
It's up to you, Captain. What are your orders?
Oh my god, I hate it when he does that.
Me too.
We will proceed
With
at
caution.
Echo's discretion. At Echo's discretion.
Print out some Christmas cookies.
Whatever Echo decides, you follow.
Yes, Captain.
while we are aboard the mechanic's shop.
It makes more sense to take the director for an easier escape. It is faster.
Are you taking the
Proceed
ship
to
down?
docking.
All right.
Is there anything spooky about the shop
Yes,
thing?
something
like-
is off.
You look around, and especially with your kind of more animal-attuned instincts, you look at Squeak, and Squeak is... This is the hardest thing that this dog has ever done in their entire existence.
I'm gonna pick him up and
Respect.
it's time for the support dog to get some support.
Okay. You hold the dog, and they definitely like lean into you. They shake a little bit.
Just clearinghouse information. You
Sure.
said Echo takes the ship.
Where's my sweet boy?
Is that the director
Yeah.
ship? Okay, I thought we were doing the shuttle still. Okay.
No.
No.
I was
If
just
we're
confused.
all going, it doesn't
Yeah.
make sense for us to
Yeah.
You
caravan.
land the ship on this very familiar platform, and it looks not dissimilar to what you remember, save for the fact that it is now up here in space. There is... go ahead and make a perception check, and I'd say Gibbs, you as well, because you're looking around for something spooky.
Thanks.
And where are we? We're on the. I couldn't hear.
You're on the front platform in front of the actual structure itself.
Perfect. Thank you.
Math. 35.
35. Jeez.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
And we're in space, correct?
Gibbs, it's really, yes. And Gibbs, it's really hard for you to focus because the first thing that you see is there is a number of food crates that are piled up next to the door. You definitely see the cute little hamster that would indicate some mean lean green beans. There's some other stuff out there. You're not really sure, but that's food. And that kind of is most of what you see. You do note around the food that some of the boxes have been opened. There's just, opened kind of steel crates with the tops missing. And with that check, you can't quite make out what the logo is. But Echo, you can. And even without a 35, you would be able to, because you have not seen a gated fence across something like this in some time, for what it's worth. There is no atmosphere outside. This is still within space. However, on scanners, you can see that there is oxygen that seems to be projected about 5 feet out from the door and held in some kind of a field. Also, relatively new news to you, Echo. This seems to be producing its own atmosphere within.
The fence has the logo that you sent to me.
Correct.
Okay.
Not the fence, this opened crate.
Okay. Yes.
Even worse. Echo takes all the guns.
All the guns?
All the guns.
No problem.
Whisper calm. Should we prepare for combat?
That is the logo. This is just generally out loud. That is the logo for Pleiades Rock.
Pallades Rock.
Pallades Rock is the organization that created the Echo units.
Are they not on our side?
They are ostensibly defunct. However, as we have discovered, there is activity under the name.
How old are these packages, though? If you said they're defunct, these could just be.
They are defunct on paper. However, as we have learned, there is activity.
They are responsible for the decommissioned units we have been finding.
AKA the Zankuthan ones?
But the Zankuthan was selling to Pallades Rock. They were just a subcontractor, right?
We have also found units on the Tony Express.
Right.
And Echo thinks about the very secure hiding space on the director.
Are the bodies still there?
Oh, yeah.
Echo's not found a suitable place to bury them.
Or like deal with
That's
them.
really
Yeah.
what the whole Krusty Cutlass encounter was going to be about. And
Oh,
that was a good natural 20 to get, let me tell
yeah.
you.
Okay, so Pallades Rock is bad.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would prefer
Okay.
to not meet them.
Okay, so let's blow them out of the water.
Well, no, Spice. We don't
This
know if they're
area-
here.
Is highly dangerous.
Okay.
Is the curiosity worth it? We can't use this as our base of operations because it's not even on the Zen crawler, but we know something bad's happened. Do you want to see how bad? Friend turned foe, maybe.
Did you want to find crumbs?
All right, gear up, folks. We're in for a battle.
Echo takes all the guns.
Okay.
All right.
You all prepare for the zero gravity, no atmosphere jaunt that will lead you to the actual door proper. And if you have nothing else you want to do, you can descend from the airlock.
Make sure you have those fusions I made you ready.
Is there different entrance?
With your perception check, you didn't see one.
Okay. Just curious.
I would say Echo is aware of the fact that there should be two entrances. There's enough stuff piled up within the shop proper that it's definitely not in fire compliance, and so the other door you can't access.
Fair.
Probably. But yeah, you make your way. Oh, sorry.
No, we can go ahead. It's not
Sure. You make your way out of the airlock and into the quietest space. And as you make your way a little bit closer, is there anything that you're doing kind of before getting to the door?
Making sure that my graviton pistol and my weapons are all ready to go,
Okay.
and I'm ready to engage whatever happens, and following Echo's lead.
Okay.
No, Echo's in the lead, so I'm not going to do that.
Can I, do you want to go sneaky, or you want to just go in?
I think, as the saying goes, discretion is the smarter choice.
Great. Okay, I can help. And I cast Fog Cloud. And this gives us concealment.
Okay. So in space, as you are stepping out and you guys are doing the slow motion walk across the deck towards this
Yeah.
place, Gib, suddenly the bottle behind you uncorks, and even in space, it comes out as first like a mist of tiny little droplets, and then just mists and becomes even tinier droplets and tinier until there's just a fog cloud that somehow, even in space, is just staying kind of coalesced around your group.
Yeah.
And though it is probably pretty conspicuous that there's now a cloud in space,
Yeah.
they cannot directly see your physical forms.
Correct.
And so, for what it's worth, that is happening right now.
And basically, attacks are harder to hit. Like, things are harder to hit you. And, like, if it's trapped, it's like... AoE is going to, like, blow us up anyways. But, like, if it's, like, a gun at you, it's going to give you concealment.
Very similar to the strobe lights that were in Divers Deep,
Or the
actually.
smoke bombs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the smoke bombs.
They are, yeah, actually, almost entirely.
Gibbs lets out a little fart in space. And that little fart is this little fog cloud that's now in our little bubble.
The fart, things can't pass through your suit into space. That would be bad.
It's magical.
And so when you fart, you just smell it much more in the recirculated air in your suit, especially because you do not have a proper space helmet. It is a fishbowl. But no problem. You do all this, and you make your way to the door. As you walk,
Directly
Echo,
behind Echo, so I avoid the down.
No problem.
The down vacuum of space.
Echo, you can see that there is the Jacinto turbo lift that the mechanic typically uses to move things to and from the shop is still there. It has a wrecked antique Maximtech Orbiter 14 on it. You can see it's like an old same orbit ship that can't actually reach Zin from Garachi. It's like it's a real antique. You don't see any other kind of shuttles or things like that. You do see those crates, and you would have to walk right by them as you do. They come up to close to waist height on you. But you make your way to the door, and the only thing that is lit, there's no welcoming lights or anything like that. There is just a red button that you can press that would open this light. But for all of you, as you step within 5 feet of this thing, all of your systems and scanners would read oxygen suddenly.
So it is still being maintained in some capacity.
Elements, for sure.
So is the lights and, like, the hole in the last place we were at. Just means there's power running through it.
Echo wants to check the crates if they're in nearby.
Okay, yeah, you just walk over just a few steps away from the door. You can take a little detour and you look at the crates. They're steel crates, Pallades rock sized, or branded, not sized.
Huge.
The whole company is with them. All the executives, all of the Echo units, all the machinery to make
Really
the Echo units.
downsized.
The Men in Black theory of, like, the whole universe is in a locker.
It's just one guy. He's like, we're not doing great, but it's just not too great.
Way to make some cuts.
Make an engineering check.
It's just one guy with a really good marketing campaign.
Oh, the new dice has run out.
Uh-oh.
Time for another new
Throw it
dice.
in the jail.
22.
That's all right.
This is too small for an echo unit. And there's not a whole lot that you can really tell about the crate proper. Make a perception check. We'll see if maybe visually you can find something a little different.
Yeah, new dice are done.
You want different dice?
No, it's fine. It was just every once in a while the luck runs out, you know? You got to use it all up, and I used it all up, so it's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
It's okay.
Aside from dry rust and like little shavings of metal, there's nothing really in here.
I mean, it's all right.
You gonna knock on the door? You're gonna knock on the door.
Echo looks at the wide open entry bay, just knocks on the air.
Oh, well.
Again, no life signs were found on board.
Is your friend normally somebody who admits life signs? I just learned about this rock. People, they don't really sleep and do that thing, so just curious.
I do not believe they are a rock.
I hate to interrupt your guys' rock conversation, but Echo, do you want to go up a little bit more further and we'll follow behind?
Echo scouts ahead stealthily with different dice.
Inside Echo, it is much as you remember it. You see the central workstation with terminals still alive. They are in standby mode, but a really dull orange glow kind of serves as the characters across the screen. You see all the servers still piled up in the back, and you know these are loaded with hundreds, if not thousands, of schematics of generally Solari-based company, Starcraft, that we was primarily into USR craft. You know, a tremendous number of companies stored on there. You see the bathroom stall in pod that is, you remember that there is like a toilet within, and the toilet rotates into the wall, and it becomes a shower, and all of it gets kind of flushed down to the same place, but very efficient. There is bunk beds that are set up in the back behind the servers that you can kind of see from the entrance. And I would say, without going further in, that's all that you can see. With your previous perception check, you don't see any signs of life or anything that is especially ominous. You see no Pallades rock signs around here.
While
Hello.
following Echo, I want to be looking out for any like active terminals or anything
Okay.
that might have information.
So are you entering into the actual place
No, I'm
proper?
following Echo.
Okay.
So just, yeah.
Hello.
You kind of peer in, and the hello echoes in this space, but that's the only echo that you hear. Nothing really comes back.
Tragic.
You can't see too far into the space because of the sightlines. The servers really create almost a wall that is the partition that separates the workspace. And I use these terms loosely because they work within the actual room itself proper, but the workspace and the living space. You can primarily see the workspace, and even that is pretty cluttered.
Echo moves on through to the living space and towards their closet.
Okay. You make your way a little bit closer towards your closet. Would a visual perspective be helpful?
Yes!
We love a visual perspective.
Yay! It's a puzzle!
Yes!
I'm so excited.
Is the puzzle death?
The puzzle's death!
Is it though? I mean,
It's Echo's backstory. The puzzle's death.
all backstories don't mean death. How?
Mine wasn't pretty filled with
Courier's backstory be about that.
You have a bounty almost like you have debt that is insolvable.
Both our minis are
You can't do it in one lifetime.
Oh boy.
This is in the way.
I got this side.
We got it on this side.
Excellent.
Down. All right.
There we go.
If you sparse,
Papa-doo.
I have us.
You can see some stuff here on our little camera. We also have a close-up camera, but you can see things in way greater detail at Alberon RPG on Instagram.
We pick out you.
I gotta pick one.
We're all together. You're important.
You are all kind of gathered right in front of where that dumpster area is. The entry bay is the two squares that are directly to the left of it. Echo,
Okay,
what
so
you're
this is-
seeing,
okay.
yeah, So you guys are all out front over here. The director is parked probably right where Matt's sitting. And
So we're other way around.
We're here.
so at the moment, I may be real clear about this. These two are the door. And so Echo is probably right about here. You guys are all gathered right around here at this moment. And Echo is walking in right now. You can see the active terminals, this amber glow that you were seeing, is coming from that white workstation with that chair behind it. The servers are the servers that are kind of creating that wall.
Squeak trying to stay on the ship, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Just in case.
Yeah. Squeak is ready. Squeak's keeping the engine going. But inside, you can see the servers. Still, there are like lights that are active. It's not glowing and lit up by any means. The computer that you know is off in the back in the primary kind of workstation for software-based stuff is currently off. And you can see almost dead ahead through this little space your closet, that locker that is right next to the bunk beds.
Whispercom, should we be looking for anything?
At this point, anything is the underlined word.
Heard. I'm looking for anything.
As you all begin to take your first steps in here, make a perception check, everybody.
Everybody. Yeah!
Nice.
Yeah.
It's
35!
Ooh, nice.
Almost! One away.
Um,
Not a sponsor.
34.
24.
Okay,
32.
very nice.
We're so perceptive!
I mean, mine was high, but not as high as.
Okay. With a 35 leading the way and Echo, you out in front, it makes sense. You can see all of this stuff, but you also notice for the first time something a little bit more organic. It looks like dried blood. And it is primarily just a little trail of droplets that lead out into the left and seem to kind of go into the bed. And as you're getting closer and you get to probably about where the workstation is and everybody else can follow in if they want, you're able to peer around the... oh, yeah, sure, you can go all the way up there.
Right there?
Yeah.
Is that where you said?
Like about 10 feet back is where you would be able to start seeing that there is a shape in the lower bed.
Okay. I would stand back and be ready. If anything is wrong, I will come quickly.
I get ready to shoot at anything that is in the direction that Echo is.
Preferably not me.
Gravity gun and arm blade.
Sure.
Ready to go.
Bubs is getting his Dovco ready, and yes, Echo, right away.
As you step forward, Echo, your eyes are drawn to the bed and pulled to the bed. This is definitely organic matter that is piled up underneath, and it is roughly the size of this friend that you're looking for. As you get closer, the white sheets in places have little stains that seem to line up with like elements of blood that might have pooled around places lower. Are you pulling the sheet away? Mm-hmm. Okay. You pull the sheet away, and beneath is just tattered skin across a gleaming metal body with glowing red eyes that look back at you. But because it is about to be 8:15, we're going to step away for a quick break. Would you like to see some minis?
I was hoping I'd get some
Gleaming
sleep
red
tonight, but,
eyes.
I mean, I guess not.
Your friend
metallic
had a
body, Joe?
skin.
A metallic body with red eyes, you said?
I got some work
Yeah.
done. What do you think?
What you do to my friend?
The same red eyes
Can I
that
see it? I would
Kasasa
What
had.
you notice as you pull this off, the tattered skin, these all elements, it's just artificial flesh that has been attempted to be wrapped around. You can see like full on faces stretched across shoulders, things like that. But this is almost like an Echo unit that has not fully been assembled. But that being said, we're going to step away for a quick break and we'll be back in
Holy
just a little
Kazola.
bit. There is a timer on your
Oven
screen.
off
See
early.
you soon. And
Tunes
welcome
band.
back to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. And we're going to jump right into this very interesting scene. So,
interesting.
Echo, as you pull the blanket away, you can see there is just tattered flesh scattered across a metallic body that turns and points these glowing red eyes at you. And at that same time, you hear the scrape of metal behind you as these creatures begin to separate themselves from behind the console, from underneath this bed, from the bed itself. And you can hear other sounds shifting around this garage as well. But everybody can go ahead and roll for initiative.
I was afraid you were going to say that.
You change the music to something a little bit more
shit.
appropriate.
Ooh. New day, right?
No.
That's what you want to use your
No, it
reroll on?
was.
Yeah, it is a new day.
So
It's
you guys were
blessing.
16 hours out from dropping out of the
Yeah.
drift. I very specifically mentioned that, and I reminded you when you said, new day, right? And I said 16 hours, and you said,
did.
ah. So, no.
Fair enough.
I
It was a nice try,
very
though.
specifically,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Natural one.
there you go.
It's an
Alrighty.
8 total. Just so that we're,
I hate you so much.
well, you're stuck with me.
For the next, until we're level 20 and die.
No, for the lifetime. Matt's gonna be my friend for life.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
And maybe even the next life, if you get shot through the eye by a burning right through.
Wait, what?
Miss Williams.
I love that.
All right, anybody natural 20?
Nice.
Alrighty. Anybody
I liked it,
30
Matt.
to 25?
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
You know where I am.
Why we're gonna be friends forever.
Echo, the video.
Anybody 25 to 20?
21.
Nice.
For Spice.
18.
18 is not between those
25
Yeah,
to
numbers.
20.
I thought you were going to the next one. Sorry.
Alrighty, 20 to 15 except
Okay,
for
because
Bubbles.
I was waiting for that. Also an 18, but less good of an 18.
Yes.
A shitty
Always
18.
roll the same.
We
got
do
a s-
always roll
I got
the
a
same.
17.
Hey, okay.
I got a 17 plus
A little off on our back
And
foot.
then that only leaves us with Shade, who is way, way down at the very bottom here.
Chillin'.
At like a 5.
Guys, go with caution. Prepare for danger.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
I love it.
That's funny.
Hey, do you guys hear
I want to
anything?
draw that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
The way that
looking
this is
at
going to work out, we are starting with the Proto Echoes. We are then going to Spice, then Bubbles, then Gibbs, then Echo, and then at the very, very bottom, after the air conditioning, after in the shuttle squeak shakes a little bit, we are going to Shade. But we're starting with the Proto Echoes. So, first,
And I'm going back to squeak.
the bathroom opens up, and you can hear in the small pocket of air outside, and actually for those of you outside can see, from the dumpster
Oh no.
and from the shower, and this one will lurch towards you very quickly. This one will close with Gibbs, and these three are all going to close with Echo. And as this is happening, Shade, you're at least thankful that Squeak dragged you out and onto the shuttle, because otherwise, this would have been a lot of Echo units against just your one.
Yeah, that would have been tough. But you could have retreated.
So
Well,
the stall opens, the dumpster lid throws open and slams against the outside wall, and these creatures dash out, dragging these long blades that hang from their hands like fingers along the steel as they do. Echo, we're going to start off with you.
Of course.
So each of them is getting 2 attacks against you,
For sure.
and as they pull these blades out, the first one is going to be a 27
Yes.
and a 21.
No.
Alrighty. The second one is going to be a 25 and a 26.
Against.
KAC.
26, yes. 25, no.
All right, so 2 out of 4 so far. And then the final one, a 17 and a 21.
Neither of those.
There you go. So just 2. As they rush over, one slides beneath the computer station. The one that you revealed jumps from the bed, and one slides out from beneath. And the one from beneath slashes at your ankles. And Echo, this is basically a steel scythe that is separated into 4 individual pieces, making this hand. And it is going to deal 21 points of slashing damage.
Don't like that.
The second attack is dealing 21 points of slashing damage, as they are exactly the same. One on top, one below, and they almost cut you through the top and bottom equally.
You know, Joe, I love that for you.
Yes.
I love that for you.
Sass.
Shade, the one that as this like shower stall opens up, you can see this creature's skin actually sloughs off the steel frame and onto the floor, and it jumps forwards and takes 2 attacks against you. That is
Just tell me the damage.
2 natural 20s. Shit.
So that's just 1 because it was the advantage, right?
no, those are 2 attacks.
Starfinder doesn't have advantage.
This is a multi-attack, so this is with -6 to it, but it doesn't matter.
Just do the damage.
My dream!
So,
Proto Echoes have my dream!
Kill them, absorb their energy.
Shade, the first one, you are getting way better
The
damage
answer
rolls.
to the
luckily.
puzzle was death.
You are taking only 20 points of slashing damage.
That's actually, yeah.
You got max damage almost twice. So the second one is a little bit worse, and that one is going to be 28 points of slashing damage.
Okay, not great.
And you actually get incredibly lucky as this is able to pierce into your chest, and each blade through steel, but each one missing anything vital. But as they pull away, there is just gouts of blood and oil and sparks of electronics. It is a pretty good amount of damage, and this creature rips its fingers out of your chest. Gibbs,
Gibbs sees that and is like, looks up at the looming blades and is like, oh.
and it's going to take 2 attacks against you. That is not great, but still probably going to hit. That's a 24 and a 22.
Both of those will hit.
Sorry, 24 and a 21.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Casey.
Meets it, beats it though.
That's
But like
unfortunate.
Shade's armor, it's like, ooh, caught a piece, and then it's like, ooh, not strong enough.
Almost, yeah. But you are going to be taking 16 points of slashing damage from the first,
Nice.
and then 15 points of slashing damage from the second.
Okay.
This across you, and sure enough, this new armor certainly is protecting you better than the previous. But the trash continues to float out and around from this individual. That is all of the proto echoes, and that brings us to Spice.
I'm going.
Finish the snack. Finish the snack.
Maybe I shouldn't have gone straight to Spice.
I'm holding my action anyway to see what. Once Echo acts, Spice will act.
No problem. So in this moment, all of a sudden, there is blurs of flesh and metal just whirring through this space. And so much movement is happening that you can't risk a shot quite yet. You're going to wait and see how this shakes out.
Yep.
Bubbles, what would you like to do? Gibbs, you're on deck.
Bubs also kind of feels that vibe. He noticed that it's an echo unit. So I'm going to hold my action to... let me see the turn order. No, because then the turnover would be...
What you doing?
I'm going to just attack.
Okay.
This one next to you?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess you don't have.
Go ahead, make your attack roll.
Sorry.
And Bub is going to build himself up by just saying... it's a 7 plus... 13. Where is it? No, it changed.
Was it the Dothko?
Yes. 7 plus 18 is
25.
25. Yes, I have it in mind.
25, that hits.
Nice. And Bubs is going to say in his mind, the only way forward is through. This is not. That's the wrong one. Sorry. That's a 1 and a 7. That's 8 plus 18 is
8 plus 18, 26.
26.
26. And what kind of damage is that?
Slashing.
Slashing. So you take the hooked, almost like toothed part of the Dothko, and you decide that you're going to go through this individual. You bring it up and almost like an uppercut, and the points on this pierce in through the flesh and through the actual metal part of the skin itself.
I made a mistake. I meant to say my attack roll was plus 15, so if you could minus 3 for my 25.
Damage? Or,
Attack.
22 to hit.
22, again, that's going to miss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
No worries, no worries. So you go, and as you do, you slam the Dothko into this individual, and the steel almost just turns it aside. The chest is gleaming, and there is a slight scratch, but otherwise, this is made out of a very tough material. Anything else, Bubbles?
That's it.
Alrighty, Gibbs.
Gibbs is
Echo, you're on deck.
feeling the life link between her and Echo, and isn't quite at the danger level yet. So she's just gonna, in support of her friends,
Okay.
cast School Spirit. So everyone can be within range because my range is pretty big now.
And this drops the concealment.
Ooh, good point. Let me see. Probably.
And for what it's worth, it doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
across the room.
It's better if we're getting shot at,
Yes.
for sure. But since we're not getting shot at, yeah, I'll drop the concealment, and I will cast School Spirit instead. So can everyone make a will saving throw?
Us included?
No, sorry, just the goobers. Evil guys, please.
All
They
right.
succeed. Or they cannot be targeted by will
one.
saves.
They cannot be
are
targeted by
affected.
will saves.
Correct.
You must scatter.
They cannot be targeted by will saves.
That's scary. I
Yeah.
hate that.
Hate that. Okay. Well, my little guy comes out and is like, guess I'm done here. Just walks back in his little mystical doorway and goes the fuck away.
That? What?
Doorway appears, it opens up. You see this little old Yosoki who goes out and just goes, "Oh no!" Just tucks himself back in, and there is a swirl
Spice
of magic, and he's
blinks.
gone.
Yeah.
No problem.
Gibbs, what the fuck was that?
They're resistant! I don't know.
That is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us. Unless you want to go anywhere.
No, I'm not fucking going anywhere. I got
This guy looms over you, and you feel like he will slash at you if you take even an inch. But that brings us to you, Echo, surrounded by 3 proto-echoes here in the back of this shop. What do you want to do?
Standard action to, like, do checks, right?
Correct.
Okay. Echo's going to activate their holographic clone.
Okay.
So there's more echoes on the more of this echo on the field,
Yeah.
and they get 1d4. So there's 2 more echoes that appear on the field.
Okay.
Um,
Don't
And-
do dice to be.
Where's your little cat?
and then I
My gato.
Echo's,
Yeah.
oh shit. Echo will just say, "We are looking for the mechanic. Please. I am Echo 72549. Please." And then see what happens.
Okay, no problem. You say these things out loud, and you can see the one in front of you, the head begins to shift and turn, and there may be some response. But that is your turn, Echo. Alrighty. Shade, you are on deck, and then we go back to the top of the round, and we'll see what happens
Can
with those
I
proto
act?
echoes. Oh, yes, you can.
So Spice, hearing echoes, response not get fully recognized by these other semi-proto whatever echo units is going to move up. I'm gonna move up. Ooh, and cast Daze. So I want to move here, but I'm gonna cast Daze on this guy. Oh wait, but they don't have. It's a will save. Never mind. She's not gonna cast Daze. I'm going.
So as
to...
you are about to start and run forward, those words from Gibbs echo in your ear, and it's lucky that you remember that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. She's going to, instead of casting Daze, she goes to like bring her hands together for Daze, but then draws it across her shoulder and touches the prototype android. Right, has
Sure.
mechanical parts. She's gonna touch their shoulder and cast Jolting Surge instead.
Absolutely.
Melee attack. All right, it's going to be a. Ooh, nice. 28 to hit.
28, that hits no matter what it is, yeah.
It's actually a 30 because I'm touching them.
Well, 28 is meets it beats it. 30 definitely beats
Yeah.
it.
So then I'm gonna need. Anybody got a couple? I need 2 more d6s. Oh wait, no, 1 more d6. All right, here we go. Here's your damage coming up. 12.
Oh, look at those double
Plus
sixes there.
4 is 16 damage.
16
Electricity.
damage. That's
Is
against
it a
number
double
3.
if it's like a construct or whatever? Or like a metal?
No, it's just +2 to hit.
Alright.
So, but I'm around
Superconducting metal.
here now.
As you run around this individual, they take that full amount of damage for what it's worth. And as you move, you don't move in a way that would provoke an attack of opportunity. The one that you didn't hit, it shifts and is following you with its eyes and body. The one that you did hit, damaging it with that kind of damage seems to have slowed it. You get the sense that it doesn't have a reaction right now.
No, because this spell doesn't provoke attacks of opportunity. But
Correct.
So.
But also, it seems as if electric damage takes away their reactions.
Oh, thank you. I was not picking that up.
No worries. Anything else for your held actions?
Spice is gonna like scream behind her, Echo, I don't know whether to kill them or not.
Okay, no problem. That is your turn. Shade, what would you like to do?
Move action. I'm going to activate my adaptive fighting, fend off.
Sure.
I'm going to use my what's it called? It's a new name for overload because now I can affect like constructs and stuff. But it's overload, so I'm going to use that, which I believe is a save for them. It's override now.
Override, yes. And what kind of save is that?
It is also a will save, but it affects androids, drones, robots, and creatures with the technological subtype.
They do have the technological subtype.
And the DC is...
Natural 20. I kid you not.
Big old middle fingers to shade.
Yeah, that's three so far, but the two at once was amazing.
All right. So I attempted that dude. I think he might still take damage. No, they have to.
There you go. You try to overcharge this, and Shade, as you do, first of all, a couple of things happen all at once. Your adaptive fighting is different than the last time that you used it. The different numbers and heads-up displays flash an orange in a different color than you're used to. And beyond even that, as you try to override this creature, there is military-grade hardware within it. And it very quickly repels you, and you get the sense that there are some countermeasures stored within as well.
And then I'm going to use my exocortex's action to do amplified glitch in this area to try and get these guys a little shaken.
Okay. All those servers begin to hum and glow to life, and they begin to spin up for the first time
And
in
that's
at least some time.
I make a computers check. And the DC is... it's the one that's like 15 plus 1.5 their CR, or the highest
1.5 your CR, yeah.
per plus 3 because I'm hitting 3.
Plus 3. Gotcha. That's good to know.
Yeah, well, plus 3 because it's 3 targets.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 per target. Oh my god, brutal. It's gonna be a miss. It's a miss.
Yeah, no worries. So you try to do this, and as you do, it resists the ability to overload and seems to almost dampen your ability to interact with electronics around it. There is so much happening in this dark space that it's hard to concentrate. But that is your turn, Shade.
That's it for me.
That brings us to the top of the round and to these Echo units. Echo, you look into this Proto-Echo's eyes, these red eyes, and it doesn't have a mouth in the way that you do. And you realize that it can't really respond in the way that you're meaning for it to. But all at once, from deep within, you can hear this reverberating metallic groan that is almost like metal plates being scraped together, and it rears back. There is no recognition. There is no familiarity. This is something that is so much simpler than what you are. This is not an android. This is a construct, and it attacks again. That is going to be a 23 and another natural 20.
No! God damn!
Throw
Joe
those dice.
I'm gonna, you know what? For your guys' sake, I'm gonna put that one up there.
Yeah, oh my god. Dice jail that bitch. We're gonna get
Natural 20 for
smashed.
sure. 23 now.
Okay, so for that natural 20, you are taking 16, 24 points of slashing damage as it carves into you again. There is a similar metallic vibration from behind, and the second one takes both of its attacks. That is only going to be a 20 and then a 25.
KAC?
Yes.
No.
Oh, very nice. And so the first one, though it is able to scrape away, it almost pulls you forward out of this one's grasp, but the one behind it will take another 2 attacks. That is a 23 and a 28.
28, yes.
All right. Echo, from that final attack, you were able to parry one but not the other, and that is going to be a total of 18 points of slashing damage as it pulls across. And Echo, your entire surface area is marred by deep gouges and scars, not only across the biological components, but the mechanical ones as well. But that is all that those three can do. That cuts us back to the ones that are facing off against Shade and Echo, against Spice and Shade.
And Echo.
Echoes.
Did you roll your dice to make sure it hit? Because you got
Oh!
your echoes.
Oh, shit, thank
Oh,
you.
yes. Very good. Very
So that was
good.
3
The
hits?
cat
2
reminded
hits.
me.
That's one double gone. And both doubles are gone now, but that's no hits to Echo.
Very nice. And that definitely saves you a good chunk of
100%.
damage. The first tries to carve into you, and as it does,
Because I'm the healer.
Spice, from where you are, you see Echo just pierce straight through the heart by a fist that just rips Echo apart, and then the digital artifacts flicker away. It's just a mirror. You see another one, the head ripped off, and then just scatters into light. But there is only Echo left, and they are still surrounded. The one that is kind of sandwiched between you and Shade, between the two of you, is going to target you, Spice. Actually, one attack each. Shade, that is
probably
going to be
the
a
attack is pulling
27
its claw
against your
out of my-
KAC.
27 meets a beats.
Beats it, beats it.
Wow,
and
your
then
guys' KACs are high.
That's because I upgraded our equipment. Did you add your
17
fusion?
for you.
No.
KAC.
Actually doesn't hit.
There you go.
Shockingly.
So the first, it's one huge slash with these 3 talons, and it scores across you, Shade, for
Damn.
18 points of slashing damage. That slows the momentum enough so as it strikes into you, Spice, your armor turns those blades aside. But that is all that those ones can do. That brings us to the very last one that is currently kind of between Bubs and Gibbs. It is going to lurch away from Gibbs.
Nice. I'm a hit it.
I don't know that it's going to leave your attack range,
Oh.
though, because it's only going to shift across to here. Yeah, because it's
Good
going
thing-
for Bubbles.
Oh, you're right.
And Bubbles, it will lurch forwards and strike you. Bubbles, that is going to be a 29 and a 27. KAC.
That misses.
Very nice. And so as these try to carve into you, your bubble just turns these aside, and it can't even touch the armor, never mind you.
Is that your best? Come on.
That is all of them, and that brings us to Spice. Bubbles, you're on deck.
Alright, Spice. I'm not gonna move. She's going to turn to face Echo's attackers, and she's going to. These are Echo units, so she's going to make the assumption that they are language dependent, mind affecting, and sense dependent, because this is going to be a fear effect.
Okay.
And I'm going to do my envoy improvisation doom that I tried to do a couple of games ago. This time in a cone. And so they have to make a sense motive check or 15 plus half the creature CR against my bluff check.
Interesting.
So good luck. So she's like, she turns around ominously, casts her gaze down, and she's like, you guys have never met Mosaic Team 5, and you who don't know is coming for you. Okay, let's see if this works.
We're not really sure either.
Yeah, I'm not.
My bluff check is super duper duper high, so good luck. It's a
Damn. Yeah, that will absolutely work. That's incredibly annoying. Okay, cool. So hang on. So that is going to be. Well, yeah. What is your roll? Sorry.
so oh god, Jesus. 20, 36. Yeah, 36.
36.
Yep.
Hang on. I gotta do some math here. It's 1.5 times the creature's CR.
Or 10 plus their sense motive.
You succeed by 4.
Okay.
And so no problem. You are able to, as you like hurl out this this dooming prophecy essentially across the space. Though these are essentially constructs, it is not the words. It is just the intent behind this that seems to rattle them for just a moment.
So they can choose between one of 4 actions. They can either fight defensively, use the full defense action, move out of the area, or move into a covered area against my attacks.
Okay.
So
And is that as a reaction?
that is on their next turn.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Anything else, Spice?
I'm going to. Ooh, I'm going to stay where I am actually because I
Okay.
don't want that AOA.
No problem. For you, Echo, as you try to talk to this creature, you hear just vibrations and are attacked in turn. But then, as Spice shouts out at them, they do begin to shift and react. But that is that is Spice's turn. That brings us to Bubbles. Gibbs, you're on deck.
Bubbles is going to hear in his head because he hasn't psyched himself up, and now he feels like the previous psych up wasn't really getting him to where he needs to be. And then he hears that voice in his head. Now you're thinking like a soldier. And he realizes what he has to do, and he clenches his fist, and he drops his Dothko, and he's tuned it to the belt that he had, that he got on the Moons of Zin that holds items as you drop them.
Not on the Moons
Yeah,
of Zin,
no.
on the
Asteroid.
oh gosh.
It was the asteroid.
I know I'm forgetting.
Siren.
It's the rope- the,
Siren.
Siren, that's it.
Thank
Thank you. Siren, and
No
it
problem.
falls and lands
Right
right
onto
there.
it, yeah.
That's a very important part of the strategy of the two weapons Bubs.
Yeah.
Bubs is gonna hold his fist, like have a fighting anime stance, and he's just gonna start yelling, "Ah!"
One punch!
And you can see like a little bit of static around the bubble. And he is going to reach back, and he's wearing just his polarity gauntlets now. And he's going to reach back, kind of like do like an anime kick in the air, and then do like a normal punch.
Sure.
It's going to be a full attack. That's an 8 plus, what did I say?
18 minus 4.
Plus 15. Oh, no, plus 9. 8 plus 9.
8 plus 9 is 17. That is going to be a miss.
Okay, I'm going to use the ability of the Wrathful Warrior class called Close Enough, so it auto hits.
Very nice. Very nice.
Dude,
As you
that's
jump up
cool.
and you go to kick, in almost supernatural quickness, this creature, and you've seen Echo move, there are similar movements happening here. It draws back, but you are able to extend your leg out just a little bit further to scrape across. Not a full flush hit, but you still hit.
Bubs has been training.
So it's 2d6, but the d6 are lowered
see
to
it,
the
Goku.
lowest possible amount. So
Yep.
instead of 2d6, it's just 2.
Yep.
And then I automatically add the plus damage. So it's plus 26.
Yeah.
And Gibbs, did you get hit at all your last turn? No? Okay, then I don't add any other damage. And then my second attack.
You got hit.
Very nice.
No, I have a 3. So a
That, with the plus damage that you do, that's so good.
yeah.
It's because
Fuck.
You need a 20?
It's right.
Shit! I bowled us down.
that's okay. It's easy
And I rolled
to
an out.
put them back.
An 11 plus an 8.
An 11 plus
Plus
an
a
8 is a
9.
29. Plus another 9?
No, 11 plus 9 is 20.
Yes, and that is a miss, unfortunately, as
Okay. I'm going to use Close Enough again.
well. Okay. You use
Damn.
close enough again, burning through resources, but you are just able to extend this Superman punch, almost dislocating your shoulder in doing so.
Um,
Burning through resources. Why does he say
that's... Oh, it doesn't matter for those. Yeah, so it's 2 plus 26,
26.
so 28. And
Almost.
then because I have 2 weapons that are twinned in my hands, I have a gear boost called Twin.
Yeah,
I add another plus 4.
very nice.
30. 2 total.
Very, very nice. And as you
minus
kick,
4.
you basically miss, but extend your foot just enough, and that barely touching it explodes elements of this chest cavity out, tearing metal away. You have this Superman punch that also just barely hits, but extending your fist and almost dislocating your shoulder pays off as the kinetic energy like jolts across, rattling the floor itself. The trash can behind the dumpster shakes. And this creature almost destroyed by these 2 strikes. It is barely hanging on by a thread. You can see a filamentous spinal column still attached. The light's almost going out, but it is still just barely up.
Bubs, having used that for the first time, feels exhausted, and he falls onto the ground, and his arm is on the ground. And I'm going to say he's prone.
Okay, for flavor and for
mechanical.
dramatic effect, you are prone. No problem. So prone. Put yourself prone.
Yeah.
That is your turn, Bubbles, almost destroying this creature single-handedly by missing. That brings us to Gibbs.
It's been a while since Gibbs has paid attention to Bubbles in battle because there's not been a lot of reason for her to because he's been like abnormally fine.
Yeah.
So Gibbs is like got her back turned and is like paying attention to literally everyone else in front of her, but then just like sees and feels the like life force of this creature crunch behind her and just like looks and like sees that like Bubbles is on the ground and like destroyed it and is like a little impressed. But there are people who are in worse condition than Bubbles is, despite the fact he's prone. So she's gonna wisp ally Echo, and that gives you the first creature that attempts to hit, you get a addition to your AC. Okay. So it's one time every round, but only for the first hit.
Okay.
Cool. And you get this little ring that indicates that you get
They're not gonna try to. They're not gonna try to hit her or them this round.
Doesn't matter. It's every round. It's
Okay.
Like, it lasts for like 10 rounds.
It's very. It's
And just like it's there
clings. It's
forever.
sticky.
It's so sticky.
Does that provoke an attack of opportunity from that one?
Wisp
Because it's
ally?
I
magic.
believe it does.
Because magic is ranged attacks.
Some of my spells don't.
Was any of the damage electric?
No,
Okay.
Hold on.
just polarity.
I don't. Maybe it does. It probably does.
If so,
Yeah. There's nothing that specifies
does
it
a
doesn't.
29 hit? And it is going to deal 16 points, or sorry, 18 points of slashing damage as it carves across you as you cast this spell. It almost uppercuts these blades into your torso.
I would have also taken then an attack because I forgot about that rule. For School Spirit because I cast it, but it
that is
didn't work.
correct. That is correct.
So I would have taken a hit for that.
Probably 13.
Yeah, I didn't.
And this creature actually, I would say, yeah, no problem.
He rolled a 2 to hit.
Yes.
Nice. Sorry, just trying to be honest. I forgot about that
Anything
spell.
else that you forgot? No. Okay. Anything else, Gibbs?
No, because that guy's gonna carve me up more if I move.
Yeah. You kind of like collapse back a little bit, taking that damage. But Echo, that does bring us to you. Your two mirror forms are gone, but you are still hanging in this fight. What do you want to do?
Seeing that their like pleas have kind of gone unanswered and that there's like no understanding from these things, emphasis on things, Echo is gonna like grab onto one of them and like use a computer's check to kind of like cause some like malfunction in one of the wires.
Okay.
34.
40. You take a plus, no, you take a +6 conditional modifier, and you're not quite sure why. But as you go and you try to connect with this thing and you pump this computer check across its body, there is something that is so intuitive about these systems, and they are so simple compared to the ones that you possess, that you have an innate advantage over this creature when it comes to computer checks.
So that's a 40 for the trick attack.
Yeah, that's
I just have to hit. Echo folds out the hail pistol from their arm. And that is a 23.
23 against?
Cold and piercing, I think we have said EAC or KAC?
That's E.
It's EAC, and that is a meets it, beats it.
Yo!
Get to use all the dice!
The EAC
listen to them
seems to
clankle
be
down.
significantly lower than the KAC.
I get to use my yellow nutrient cubes.
Ooh!
Oh, one's cocked. There we go. Alright, so that's 8 plus 5 is 13 points of cold and piercing damage. With an additional 3, 10, 17 points of cold and piercing damage.
Very nice.
And let's go with flat-footed.
All right. And this creature is totally capable of being flat-footed. As you are able to, like, you dominate the computer parts of this creature so much so that it causes an actual electronic malfunction. Wires snap under the strain of this burning kind of overload as the resistors go out, and this creature is unable to attack and defend itself properly. You are easily able to sink a strike that is critical against this creature, and it looks badly hurt. That is a good chunk of its life pulled away right there.
Echo's not happy about it.
Anything else, Echo?
Nope.
That is your turn. That brings
Being honest, I used the hail pistol.
Ice.
It's a pistol. It's a ranged weapon.
Oh. AoE.
Fair enough,
Or
fair enough.
AOOs.
But don't they not get them?
That's what I was thinking.
Whoa. All three of them are getting. They need to take electric damage.
That was good.
All right. So, Echo, you do manage to provoke 3 reactions. One of them, the lowest one, is only going to be a 15.
Okay.
The next one is a 17.
Okay.
The next one is a 32 at a natural 20.
No!
And so this is like 5, I think.
They have to beat a 29.
Let me put this.
And one of them get a +2 for my Wisp Ally, but this is the provoking.
So, sorry, you get a +2,
School spilling.
No, it's not school spirit.
It's
It's
Wisp
Wisp
Ally.
Okay.
It doesn't.
and that still beats 29, but it has +2.
No, sorry. She gets +2 to her AC for one attack as long
Does
as.
29 take that into account?
No, it's a 31.
So with a 31, I think that still beats it. Hang
It's
on.
a 32
That's
beats
the
it, yes.
32. Yeah, okay. That's unfortunate. Sorry. That was close, though. The Wisp Ally, surges forwards to try to protect Echo, but this just pierces straight through. And Echo, from the only attack that does get through, it is a doozy. That is going to be 20. Actually, only 26 points of slashing damage.
All right.
And you pull the pistol back, sparks flying out of your arm, but that is all that they, I believe, can do as a reaction. Echo, anything else on your turn?
Echo is going to move a little bit out of range. Is there clearance above these, or are they all the way up to the
There
ceiling?
is probably about 1.5 feet of clearance. It would
Okay.
be pretty tight.
Tight squeeze.
Just for flavor, is going to climb up the side and go around the side like that.
Okay, no problem.
To get over the desk, of
I want
course.
to show off the fact that I can climb now.
Yeah, no problem. And so even though it's an equal amount of distance either way, you use climb speed instead of speed. That is your turn, Echo. You end up at this terminal, and you can see there is as you kind of jump onto this, it moves the cursor enough that the machine is disturbed from sleep, and you can see on it there is schematics, or at least empty schematics. It looks like parts of a file of the same exact shuttle that the mechanic uses, a Maxim Tech Orbiter 14. But that is your turn. That brings us to Shade.
Cool.
Shade, you watch as Echo runs across the servers.
Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and
Parkour.
use my exocortex to implant glitch on the one that is kind of gumming up the 3 here,
Okay.
in the middle, so that they can't. Well, they can move, but thematically, the one in the middle. So that's going to be computers check. DC is, I believe, 15 plus 1.5.
Yep.
Yep. Did I give you my D20? Oh no, I gave you my D20 because it's in jail. New one. Also jail. That's gonna be still like a 30. Let me just double check.
That.
Yeah, 30.
So it's 15 plus 1.5 CR.
Yeah.
Beta.
I don't know why, but for some reason I can't get this number to stick in my mind.
1.5 times CR.
That is a
I
success.
couldn't either.
Hey,
I have to do it
okay,
every single
cool.
time.
I wrote it down and I
I'd
circled
take it back if it's not in jail.
It was close.
The judge has ruled favorably.
This is military grade
They've
hardware.
been acquitted.
And even though I was able to stand up to this once, you are still able to override it.
Cool. So now they're going to take -2 I'm gonna do, I think, their legs, so it messes up their, I think, their movement. Let me just double check.
Okay.
So, yeah, they're gonna take a -2 penalty to their. I'm gonna do it actually to their attack rolls and do it into their arms so that their claw arms lock up.
No problem.
It's this one. And it lasts for 1 round. For every mechanic level I have.
Echo Scissorhands.
So,
Their hands.
as long as I maintain the link with my exocortex on it, that creature has it for up to 12 rounds.
Very nice. Okay. So number 4 for 12 rounds.
So that's what my exocortex is currently doing for up to when I decide not to. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my attack to hit this guy.
Okay. Make your attack roll.
And it's actually going to be... no, I can't do that. So I'm just going to do full action attack with just 2 hits with the sword.
Okay.
I'm not going to use the gravity gun.
Man, Exocortex is great.
Yeah.
You get like 1,000
You should
moves.
name it.
It's just an extra action, but because he's a mechanic,
It's an
the
extra
action is a
action that is
computer
like
action.
just a computer.
Yeah, it's great. There's a lot of versatility with computer actions for mechanics.
So it's an 18 on the die, -4 for a full action, plus I believe 16, so 30.
30 hits.
All right, and then second attack is gonna be 7 plus 16. What is that? 19.
19 does not hit.
Okay, so 1 hits, and that's gonna be a good chunk of damage in that time. Ooh. All right. 26 points of slashing.
Very nice. This creature already having taken a little bit of damage from Spice, as you slash across it with this, it is carved almost wide open, and you can see the flesh like ribbons that are cut away from a mummy just down to the floor, and it is just bare gleaming metal, and they are badly hurt, but still up.
Ah, damn.
Nice.
You guys have again distributed all of your damage amongst 3 of these creatures. But that is your turn, Shade. That brings us up to the top of the order and to the Proto Echoes.
It's Team 5.
Don't they have to run because I succeeded on my attack?
No, they just have to hide from your attacks.
They do just have to hide.
And so
But that works out nicely because
it does work out very nicely because this one has to go
they're
back,
kind of like
which
tunneled.
is no big deal. But this one, Echo, will provoke an attack of opportunity as they pull away from you. And this one does not need to move to be out of your line of sight.
It's a 26 from Echo.
26 against.
EAC.
That hits.
11 points of cold and piercing damage.
11 points of cold and piercing damage against number 4. So this individual already kind of limping away and not doing great. Not damaged yet, but a little bit less mobile. Takes 12, you said?
11.
11. No worries. And that is their movement caused by Spice's effect. I don't think any... Oh, no, actually, that's all right.
Fuck.
This one. Bubbles, you on the ground, and Gibbs, you right next to him. This creature almost carved in half.
Yeah.
And you hear from deep within it, repair protocol initiated. And it is slowly going to begin to move towards those crates.
I chomp it.
Okay, make an attack of opportunity.
I can make an attack with her, but I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Why?
Fail, I'm sure. I'm sure 15 doesn't hit.
It does not hit. This creature lurches away, and you slam against it, and you just rattle right off. It's too strong.
No, not with the tongue.
But this creature is just lurching, and you can see as it makes its way towards that crate, the crate is beginning to kind of shift and move a little bit, but that is all the movement that they're going to do. Flashing back over to Echo. Echo, you are going to be taking only 2 attacks this round.
Wait, how? What?
Because
Oh, is there 2 on the other side?
There's one that's on. There's only one that is able to stay in contact with Echo. Oh wait, Echo, did you move?
Yeah,
you moved.
I
You
was
moved.
behind the.
You're great.
Echo's over by the
In that
computer.
case, yeah. So then none of them can follow.
Throw a fucking grenade in there.
They're
Grenade,
dead.
do you think?
I don't have a grenade though.
I don't think any of us have a good grenade.
The grenade maker wasn't ready yet.
Spice, that was real good. That was real good.
I know.
Look at Joe's face! You fucked up Joe's plans!
I know. So I did that, and now
Real
The
good.
technical term for that is check.
That's
it's
really fucking good.
not because it's
So
still
the
alive.
only one
though.
that can attack is not
It's check.
aware of the fact that Spice has done this, and so is still very much focused on Shade. Shade, you're taking 2 attacks here.
Don't come for me,
But I
Chesspieces.
also-
One is a
fucked
natural 20
myself.
for my 7th
What
of the
the
night.
fuck is
You're
that?
like the
I'm
only
putting them
one.
up here.
I know we can see them. That's
I'm
fucking
like
nuts.
getting rid of them too.
You know, Dan, Diz, or whoever said I should just eat your dice.
I mean, please don't. That is mostly because I like my dice. That's because I don't want you
They're
to.
cool. I want the orange
to
one.
The other one is only going to be a 19.
A 19.
19 misses.
Okay, so the 19 misses. The natural 20 obviously hits, and so you are taking. Ooh.
We'll see.
Math.
34 points of slashing damage.
Yeah.
As they are able to take these claws, they hook underneath you, and though Spice is able to jump over these, they carve across your shin and almost take the leg off at the knee. But
Good thing it's
that is
reinforced
that
with
one. The other one
titanium.
limps away, and actually they're going to full action move. And they're going to just
Provoking attacks. Oh, this guy.
to the
what are
crate
they
that you saw that
fucking
was
doing?
dropping apart.
I tried, guys.
Bubbles, you're tired, but you turn your head, you just track its movement, and you watch as the crate opens slightly wider, little elements from the sides out, and you can see it begins to shift into a smaller form and pack itself into this crate. And again, you remember this said repair protocol initiated, and that seems to be what this thing is doing. But that is its turn. That is all of the proto echoes, and that brings us to Spice.
I'm going to hold my turn for when they start to emerge out, and if they go to attack Echo, that's going to provoke my action.
Just for what it's worth, they're holding your action. That would go to the end of the round, then it goes back to the top.
Shit. Okay.
You're right
Well
before
then, I guess what
You're in
I'm
the
gonna.
worst place in initiative for that to.
I know.
the
Fuck.
guy behind
Okay.
us, or-
So.
Here's the guy right behind you.
Okay, I guess behind me, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to turn around real quick, and I'm going to. Let's see which one's better. I'm going to pull out my bone cestus sword, and I'm going to slash it.
Okay, no problem. You pull out what is essentially a 7-inch long dagger. It is essentially a small sword, and jab it into this creature.
God. Okay, well it's a 12 to hit,
on
so
both sides
it was a 12 to hit.
A 12 is not enough. You turn around and trying to jab this out. It gets caught like in the holster itself. You almost cut that apart, but no hit.
Yep.
Anything else, Spice?
Nope, I don't want to move either. So that's it.
You will hold where you are because just beyond these servers, you are keeping these creatures all like lurking. You can see red eyes peering from around, but they are currently hiding from you.
Something better.
That is your turn, Spice. Honestly, that was like the best move of the combat, truthfully.
Thank
at this
you.
point. That is the most frustrating thing.
Okay.
That is.
But I
Spice's
couldn't do
turn.
anything about it after.
That
That's the
brings us
thing.
to Bubbles.
Can still do it though.
Bubs is going to kind of. He's like on the ground, and he watched the robot or the Echo unit move over to the repair function. And as he picks himself up on his right hand, the one that he just punched with, he can feel his pinky and his ring finger feel bruised. And he can't feel his extremities because he's usually losing the feeling slowly in his hand. But as he like picks himself up and he bends them, he can feel it more, and he feels like they're bruised or broken. He's not sure, but he can't think about that now. So he moves down over and he picks up his Dothco from the side angle, swift action, and just throws it.
No problem. Almost like running, you grab it and just throw it in the same motion, sliding across the deck. Make your attack
And
roll.
he's out of breath, and he's and as he throws it, he falls.
Prone again.
you?
That's
That's
cocked.
That's caught.
You put it.
Why are you doing that to yourself?
Hey,
That's an 18. That's pretty good.
Plus a
And this
million.
is a single
Plus
attack
15.
to the Dothco.
Oh yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
33.
Yeah, 33.
Yes,
That's
that
15.
hits.
8 plus 4, 12 plus 18 is 12 plus 18 is 20. 30.
30?
Yeah.
Just as you hear from over this whole stretch, somehow through this space, link established. There is this Dothko that just smashes through the remains of this creature. The crate shatters and sparks, parts drifting off the platform and into space, and that creature is very dead.
And Bubs, as he does like the throw, he like falls, he like jumps and does a throw and like lands on his shoulder. And
Oh, yeah.
He just closes his eyes and just breathes heavily on the ground.
No problem. You do that, and you can see the hammer just... When you know it will return, but it's just like going off into space right now. That is your turn. That brings us to Gibbs.
Gibbs can do something about these nicely clustered enemies. Does one of these have a negative to its AC, or?
No, it's a minus to its attacks.
All right. Gibbs goes to like pull out the ear glob, but is wearing a fishbowl and can't get
Ting.
to
He
it,
doesn't take it
and is
off.
like, fuck.
6
But
seconds.
like has
of
already
movement.
spent the spell slot trying to do this, and is like fine, and then starts to like, but can't do it.
In your helmet, the earwax,
I'll get there.
all around. And for a second, everybody watches as Gibbs just ducks for cover, even though the projectile is underneath their hands. But no problem.
To make a little airlock for your helmet.
Yeah.
When you
just for
look
my
back
ear
up,
hole.
there are just like wax, like little crevices carved across your face where they went across. But that is your turn, Gibbs.
That's how I had an eye infection last week.
Oh,
That is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us to Echo.
yes.
Can I move into the trash can?
Yeah, you absolutely can. It's open from where the guy
You're
dropped
gonna get an
plot out. So you
infection
can
this
dive in. You are amongst quite a... Well, yeah, we'll get back to that. That is your turn, Gibbs. That brings us to Echo.
Also bodies.
Cool.
A lot of
Cool. Echo is going to like come over. Shade, there is valuable information on this terminal. And then scooch? Scooch? Not scooching. Okay, Echo scooches this way.
No. Go do whatever you need. to do.
Echo scooches here.
Okay.
Once more grabs onto this one for the computer's check. Is that a +6 or is it just it?
It is a +6.
Okay. Okay. Math. 24. +4 is 8. 28. 9 is 33. 33.
33 hits, yeah.
Cool. So 33 for the
Just
computers.
barely, but it hit.
33 for the computer's check.
Oh, for the computer's check. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, that still succeeds.
Oh no.
What was that attack roll?
I'm back, baby!
Yay!
Go to the jail.
Into the jail!
I feel like
as we
you
want
guys
you.
are feeding me powers.
Yes. I know.
I've
What the
never
fuck?
in
You
my
got like
life rolled this
1,000.
many 20s.
20 tonight.
Okay. You are able to use the computers to jolt through this creature. You overpower it easily, but this feeling of power is almost overwhelming, and you can't quite sink the shot. That is your turn, Echo.
Yep.
That brings us to Shade.
Fuck.
Free action. I'm gonna
What the fuck, Echo?
say to overcoms. Gibbs, go help Bubs. Spice, back up Echo and I. And I'm gonna action attack this guy with the gravity gun.
Sure.
It does not provoke attacks of opportunity.
Push him
against me
into the
because of
toilet.
Fend off.
Yep.
So to hit is
That's where I would give Nikolai
29 to hit, and then it needs to make
Bad memories. Or good
reflex
memories.
save. The DC is 10 plus
Now
the
bad
weapon's
memories.
item level, which is 12 plus 5, 27 is the DC that it needs to beat.
That is 21.
It is pushed 20 feet this way,
Can it go? 20
which
feet that
provokes,
way?
well,
No, it slams
to
into
the-
that
up to
wall.
the-
yeah.
yeah.
It slams into that wall, and for what it's worth, Jade, as you pull, it slashes, trying to take this attack of opportunity. And with fend off, you're able to parry these claws away. And in this brief second, you're able to pull this pistol in the 1 foot of space that you have between you. You can press it into their chest and just depress it and fire them across the room.
which I believe also provokes attacks of opportunity on it, because I think forced movement does provoke attacks of opportunity unless otherwise stated in Starfinder.
It does not.
We've done it. We've always done the opposite. We've
Oh,
pulled
really?
Gibbs across the
I'll
map
double
that
check.
way.
I'll double check after to.
It's
I will make.
benefited us.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
We'll make an
that makes
official
sense,
ruling on
yeah.
it after,
It's always
but
been
I'm pretty
quick
sure
action
that's how it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. All right, well, it gets pushed, and then I'm going to use my movement
Why change my
to
class?
go over here to help kind of close off this entryway passageway, and then knowing that it's gonna get rid of the glitch on this guy, gonna train my exocortex onto beginning to access the computer that
Okay.
Echo pointed out.
No problem. So we can start that next turn.
Well,
Didn't you glitch at the beginning of this turn?
no, I just did the attack, move, exocortex to
Implant
start
glitch
hacking.
was last turn.
Implant glitch was last time.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. No problem.
So then I guess I would make the first computer's check just to do the bypass of the
Okay.
systems. Or not bypass, but to
Check for countermeasures?
Yes.
That's a good idea.
that's the one that was the one that I'm trying to say.
Yeah. You made me excited.
30.
30. With a 30,
Joe had a devilish look.
okay.
Always
With a
check
30,
for
you go
countermeasures.
over to this workstation, which is a pared down version of the same one actually that Potato Blue used, a Jacinto workstation, but there is no countermeasures on this. This is entirely open, and you got the sense that it's not a false shell. There is no real security, and that in and of itself is kind of interesting. That is your turn, Shade.
Yeah, that's me.
There we go.
Whisker Calm, you sure this is the right computer?
Top of the round, that brings us to the Proto Echoes. So one of them is already down. The one that you fired into the wall is going to lurch forwards. It's going to leap onto this, and in a way similar to Echo, seems to be able to run, not that this is a wall, but across walls. They're no
was
longer
picturing
under the effect of doom,
Monkey
correct?
Nope,
claw
yeah, it was only one
crawling
turn.
over the ceiling by just
Here.
piercing into the ceiling.
No, I love that.
That would be
Here,
kind
and
of
then
cool.
this one is going to use their action to attempt to slide over this.
Ooh, one and a half feet.
Hopefully they'll end up here. We'll
It just
see.
belly flops on.
Falling
Just-
damage.
Does some of the flesh come off? Because you said
Oh, for sure, yeah.
is not-
But as an action, they are going to attempt to squeeze.
Confetti
That is
of
going to be a
flesh.
success. They squeeze in, and at first they are too wide, but the flesh just behind and hits the ground as their metal parts just get onto the other side. They skate across this desk, and with sparks, come to a stop in front of you, Spice.
That's a bit indecent.
That is its action, however. That is movement in that one action. So we'll start with combat
Joe's
over
gonna
around
fuck me
Echo.
after I did my cool move.
Echo. The thing is, they can't even get to you with most of them because Echo and Shade have taken up the door. So it's still a
Yeah.
good move. I'm running out of d20s. So the one against you, Echo, first 2 attacks. With a natural 1 for one of them.
Finally!
This one swings, and as it does in this narrow space, the other one tries to get in, and without any damage on it, is able to muscle it away, and that one falls prone on the ground with a natural 1. The one that knocks it out of the way is going to take 2 attacks against you.
This one?
I think that one's
The one in the pink ring is now prone.
nice.
The one who is not takes 2 attacks against you. The highest of the 2 is only a 24.
That does not hit.
And so you are safe as you are kind of attacked by these 2. They can't seem to be able to decide on who is going to attack first, and that works to your advantage in this tight space. The one that has jumped over and onto this desk that you had knocked against the wall shade takes revenge against you. That is going to be a 31 to hit, along with a 22.
No.
All right. That 31, as it slashes in, is going to deal only 15 points of slashing damage.
Only.
And the one that is... Oh, that's all of them now. That is all the proto-echoes, and that brings us to Spice. Bubs, you're on deck.
Yeah.
Alright, Spice is going to be like... This is stupid. This is stupid. I kind of forget. I don't forget. So what Spice is going to do is she's going to... What's that? Guarded step back? That's my move action. I'm going to guarded step back, and then I'm going to go, Shade, I don't know what the fuck you're thinking, but you better fucking hurry up. And I'm going to give you another move action.
Very nice. Envoy Inspiration, that brings us... That's your turn?
That's my turn. That's
All
everything
right.
I can
You're
do.
able to step away safely, and that does mean a lot. This creature is still definitely following you with its glowing red eyes, but that brings us to Bubbles. Gibbs, you're on deck.
Bubs is going to use his Dothco to like pick himself up.
Okay.
And he can feel his fingers. He thinks they're broken. He's not sure. And he still doesn't. He can't think straight. He can feel his blood like pumping. That's the only thing he can really feel. And in his field of vision, he can see just more static from the bubble. And he just runs. He just can't think. He runs forward. And I do a charge.
Okay.
Which is straight line.
Yeah, perfect.
I'm just gonna do charge attack straight down.
Absolutely.
Normal attack. Standard. That's an 11. I don't even think that's cocked. It's close to cocked.
Yeah, but you have like
Plus 24.
11 plus 18 plus
I was close.
15 is 26.
26 against...
I'll just say it's bludgeoning this time instead of the slashing.
That is unfortunately not quite enough, as it slams across and chromes off this, but you can see the eyes switch over from Spice to you.
Yeah, and I'm going to say Bubs, as he goes for this, he almost falls, but he picks himself up and holds the door frame on that.
No problem. You do. The door frame almost slides back in because it is automatic.
Yeah.
You're able to hold yourself up nonetheless. That is your turn, Bubbles. That brings us to Gibbs. Echo, you are on deck.
Gibbs doesn't have a lot of inventory.
You look
that
around,
would
and right
help
now
her.
you are in a dumpster. All around you there are empty space cola bottles. What do you want to do?
Gibbs can't do much. So she's gonna swap out her weapon
Okay.
and level it at Echo, and pulls out a new gun that's got, as she like pulls the trigger, it like a fan like appears like and casts a shield around Echo if I can hit her.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, cool.
So I need to hit your something. So 17.
Probably KAC.
I mean,
Plus
no,
8.
I think it's EAC.
So sorry, 17 plus 8 is 27?
17 plus 8 is 25.
25.
And that's EAC?
Okay. It's energy. It's an energy shield.
Oh, so it'd be
It's
EAC.
Can, EA?
Pizza beats it.
God!
You take this weapon and you recognizing that this is not a weapon for war, but a weapon of protection. This seems to be more to your brand. And as you pull the trigger, you're able to focus and willing the protection for Echo. You hit.
Nice. So you get 7 points of damage shielding.
Sweet.
So
It's
you
basically temporary health that
Yeah,
around
sweet.
you, and there is this kind of glowing elements of
Nice.
hexagrams that kind of form this little digital shield around you.
and you see that they're like a little outlined with like little green stitches, like holding the hexagons together, as it's also a magical weapon.
Yeah, there you go. That is, and it's definitely Gibbs magic that has seeped into it at this point. That is your turn, Gibbs.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
I'm in a dumpster. I helped my friend. I'm like happy camper.
It's a great shot.
Echo
It-
somehow
that-
feels like they've been Dutch ovened.
yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Ew,
That's a
gross.
free action. What do you want? What else do you want to do in your turn, Echo? Jade, you're on deck.
I was going to take this Dutch oven on the road.
Right.
Once more reaching out, trying to cut through some of this machinery with a computer's check. That's probably not going to do it. 26.
That is
plus,
just.
plus
Oh,
4 is 30. Plus 6
that is a
36.
success.
Cool.
It isn't even a good attempt, but as you reach across this creature, the innate ability that you have over them is so powerful that it's successful anyways.
All right. Now we're going to shoot it. Good Lord in heaven. Good fucking night.
As you grab this creature and you overtake the computer defenses on it, you can see the knees almost smoke as the pistons grind and drag it down to its knees. It is like ready to be executed. You pull the pistol out, and as you fire, it twitches and it misses just point blank. It is almost defenseless, but you watch as it rises back up to its feet. Anything else, Echo?
God. Everybody watches that happen and it's just like, the fuck?
Sighing is a free action as well, and that brings us to Shade.
So, Exocortex is going to continue
computer
attacking,
Starts off so
having
strong.
successfully entered.
Or actually, sorry. So
yeah.
within this terminal, you don't need to hack anything else.
Right.
There is only one node. In an interesting sort of twist, in a way, you are in a false shell, but that's all that's here. This is a mainframe that has been cleared out, and I would say, as your exocortex looks around, you recognize that there is some element of a code or hidden message here, but it is not a computer's check to figure it out. All you are looking at are partial schematics of a starship and literally nothing else. There's almost not even an operating system attached to this station.
I guess if it's got starship schematics, is there a way that I can try to discern what the message could be given what is like off about these schematics or what's missing from them?
You get the sense that you're missing key information. You can definitely make a computer's check, but it's going to be with a -10 conditional modifier.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Could you?
It's the exocortex. I mean, you have the
Yeah.
computer action.
I'm just gonna.
You have an extra move,
Exocortex
too.
computer action.
Yeah, do it.
Was that a nat 1?
I think it's cocked.
Okay.
Okay.
Not much better.
Is it a 2?
It was a 2. So that's a 23.
-10.
All of
Minus
our
10,
luck
so
was at the
13.
beginning of the session.
All
now. It's on the left of the table,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm killing it.
jail.
I had it last week, though.
You got out for good behavior, right back into jail.
The glove did not fit.
Recidivism.
At a schematics for a starship made by Maxim Tech, which the same company that makes your shuttle for what it's worth.
Yeah.
This has been stripped down. A lot of the data has been pulled away. It's just like a picture, really, with a few elements left in. You can see it's a very detailed picture, and so at one point these were like factory specifications. This was like real blueprints, but a lot has been pulled away, and that's very odd.
Free action comm to Echo. Maxim Tech schematics. Something strange here.
A little busy. We'll check later.
And then
Red.
There's like gunshots. You hear as like this metal scraped away.
full action because I have so I have a move action. I have 2 move actions and I
So
have
you
my
can take a
action.
full action and then another move action.
Cool. I'm gonna do that. Full action attack starting with this guy.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna slash attack to start. 28 hit.
With the -6. Full action attack.
Oh, sorry, -4. So 28. So 22 to hit.
That is a miss.
Okay. Second one. That's gonna be much better. 19 on the die. So 35 minus 31.
31 is a hit.
Cool.
Even with that full action, you miss with the first, but this creature up on a desk, like trying to parkour opposite of Echo, it's a pretty open target.
And that's gonna be 25 points of slashing.
Very nice. This as he is like up on this desk, you can see they're about to leap back and try to attack Echo, and you carve up as its arms extend out, and you just sever its left arm at the elbow completely off. These claws dig into one of the servers, which goes completely dark, but otherwise, this thing is just hanging on. You can see it like tries to take another step forwards. The leg doesn't respond, but it's still up.
And then I'm gonna use my other move action to take a guarded step just back like 5 feet to kind of open up this space for Echo to scooch.
Okay, no problem.
Clear some space from this guy who's about to be dead.
Extra movement action, guarded step. You clear out of the way, and that is your turn. That brings us to the top of the round, to the Proto Echoes. So you have taken this guy's attention. Bubbles.
Yep.
Shade, you have definitely taken this guy's attention. This one is going to wheel around to face you, Echo. This guy is going to use his movement to get up.
Nice.
Nice. So Echo, we'll start with you. You are taking one attack from the guy that's getting up. That is only going to be an 18 to hit.
7 damage. You get to.
Oh,
attack.
yes. 18 to hit, no.
The second one is taking 2 attacks against you. The first is certainly going to be a miss as a 17. The second one is a 24 against your KAC.
No.
There you go. And so unable to hit. The one that climbs up barely is able to get a strike. The other one doesn't have a good angle. You look behind you. This one is striking out at you, but the arm is just cut in half by Shade. That is the 2 that are attacking you. Shade, over here, this creature barely hanging on is going to take an attack against you. Only one.
Are you sure?
I am.
Is it another nat 20?
Huh?
It's not another nat 20.
It's
is it?
not. It's a natural one. And so as it
Everyone's
goes
luck
and
is
tries
gone.
to slash across, it goes off kilter. The leg isn't responding, and it falls prone at your feet. This creature does not hit. Bubbles, the one that is in front of you, will take 2 attacks.
Do it.
The highest one, now my luck is out. The highest one's a 22.
Miss.
Nice.
And so just clangs right off. This charge almost knocks it off its feet. But that is all of the Echo units. That brings us back to Spice. Bubs, you're on deck.
Yep.
All right.
Space.
So wait, this guy's dead?
No,
Prone.
prone.
He's prone.
Oh.
You get advantage with melee if you tag him. Not advantage. You get some additional.
auto
That
crit.
changes actually.
Hits crits.
DM.
Yes.
Can I? So I have the newly installed weapon fusion. Can I throw something against this wall and hit this guy?
With the ricochet one?
Yeah,
You
with the
absolutely
ricochet.
can,
Okay.
yeah.
So
You
Spice
can
is-
ricochet bullets now.
I could ricochet bullets too,
Well, so
but
to be clear,
yes.
you can ricochet one or the other because it is a fusion to a weapon.
So
So
it
I
works if it's
fused
attached
it
to.
to my knife
you
because
go.
I'm
So then
better
you can
at-
throw a ricocheting knife.
Yes, so
Yeah,
I'm better
that's
at melee.
awesome.
So what?
It's just a bouncy ball on the handle.
So what Spice does is she clacks the bouncy ball to the bottom, but actually Shade did that. So
It's just a pink bouncy ball.
yeah, cut to like 3 hours earlier when Spice is in the mechanic bay, just being like,
Tell me more.
and then Spice is like, we're gonna give this a go. She throws it against the wall, trying to hit.
Absolutely.
the
Make
guy.
your attack roll.
Okay, wish
It's
me
like a
luck. I hope
weeble
this
wobble.
hits. Oh, 27 to hit. Please hit.
A 27 against.
KAC.
27, unfortunately.
No.
Is a
I
miss.
literally can't hit these guys even with a nat 20.
You
Yeah.
ricochet it off, and I mean, it is about to go true. You are so close to hitting it. It hits them in the shoulder and just goes right off the armor. That bouncy ball.
It
just
hits with the
hitting
bouncy
first.
balls.
Anything else, Spice? Very cool idea, but the knife clatters into the corner.
Yeah, and then she's like, well, shit. Okay, never mind. And then probably, I'm gonna stay where I am because I'm in
Okay.
a good spot.
No problem. You are, and that brings us to Bubbles. Gibbs, you're on deck.
Bubs is just going to.
You watch as Spice disarms herself.
Yeah,
He's
go.
gonna just
Damn it.
breathe heavy. His hand is still on the door frame of the bathroom, and he's going to just slow blink and just go for regular Gothco attack. This time it's going to be more like a bunt with
Okay.
the base of it.
Yeah, make your
so
attack
it's going to
roll.
be what's it called?
Wow.
Not sharp. What is the word? That's a 14 plus 15 is 29.
29 hits.
Yep.
It's close, but it hits.
What's the word for
Piercing?
not opposite piercing?
Bludgeoning.
Bludgeoning?
Bludgeoning. That's the word.
That's not the opposite of piercing.
That is a 1 plus a 7 is 8 plus 18 is 26.
With a 26, just like before, Bubbles, you smash into this creature, and it almost pulverizes the entire chest cavity. The shoulder peels away, the arm scatters across the desk, the leg
I'll figure it out.
crunches underneath the weight of this. but it's still up, and from deep within, you can hear initiate repair protocol. That is that creature's turn. Sorry, that is your turn, Bubbles?
Yeah, and I turn for that attack. I turned off my Wrathful Warrior. You can see like the bubble gets less focused. Bubs is going to try to just do it normal. He's just out of breath.
No problem. You downshift the amount of energy that you're using, but that is your turn. Bubbles, that brings us to Gibbs. Echo, you're on deck.
Gibbs, not so useful, but is gonna hop down, scamper over, and gets to, if I can touch this person, I can get to use my key ability score modifier to make a single attack roll against its EAC.
As long as your movement's 25, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's more than that.
Did you roll a natural one too?
It's a 2. It's I keep rolling 2s. I just keep rolling 2s.
I love
So again, your little grubby
too.
paws, you reach forwards, and this creature, military grade hardware, just so much faster than you, without even registering that you're attacking, it's still fighting with Bubbles.
I'm a toddler, like, trying to, like, just touch stuff at
Yeah.
the store, and the thing's like, no.
They take a slightly higher step to like not bowl you over, and then just keep fighting around you. But yeah, no problem.
Mama?
Anything else, Gibbs?
No, I've done literally nothing.
There you go. That brings us to Echo. Shade, you are on deck. Echo, what would you like to do? These creatures kind of looming over you on either side. Shade seems to be fending off the one behind you.
Switches to the other arm, try to take that one out.
Sure.
Gonna use a different die. Okay, that's better. 30 plus 10, 40.
40. And so are you going, just to be clear, there's one that's very badly hurt and one that's a little bit less badly hurt.
This one.
Okay, that's the one that's less badly hurt. Cool.
The one that's not
There
flat-footed.
you go.
Because I would rather have the flat-footed one stay up.
Yeah.
So 40 for the computer's check.
That absolutely succeeds. Smashes it out of the park.
Good Lord! What the fuck? It's a 2!
That is not going to hit,
on this
unfortunately.
side of the
You overwhelm their computer defenses. They are dragged down to their knees yet again, but you cannot execute this shot. It is too narrow of a space. There is too much going on. Anything else, Echo?
Please. Just surrender.
That is your turn, Echo. They seem to be falling on deaf ears. That brings us to Shade. What would you like to do?
They left their ears with
I'm gonna standard action put the one on the ground out of its misery.
Sure.
Oh, actually, it's an auto crit, right?
It is.
So I'm just gonna roll damage, I guess.
Do you have to hit it?
You do have to hit it.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah.
But isn't it like -4 or whatever because it's prone?
I don't think so. I
It
think
depends.
it is.
It depends what type
natural
of attack.
20. It's an extra auto
So,
crit.
I
my
mean,
God.
you
So sad.
take this sword, and when you bring it down, similar to the USR Leon bridges, you bisect this creature in half. Straight from the head, just dragging straight down along, and you dig a deep gout in the floor itself, just not to this
I was
creature.
thinking more just like
Oh,
straight
yeah, sure, no
down.
problem. But it pierces the metal
Kinda
floor. The
like-
natural 20, that damages the material.
I'm gonna
underneath.
roll the numbers, but they don't matter. But, you know. Alright, that's pretty decent. 19,
A million.
Like,
Dead zone.
46 bleed damage. Just for the fun of it. Alright, that's boop, 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 boop. 21 plus 37
Damn, boy.
times 2. 74 points of slashing damage, and then
That's literally more health than they have total. And so, yeah, absolutely.
and then there was bleed damage too.
Yeah, they had 19 points of health left, and so not only do you sever the last
Unnecessary
remaining part of the life that is with them, but I mean there is maybe like a small creature that is living under the floor, and you kill that too.
Damn.
The proto echoes all go back one software update. That is a devastating strike. Anything else, Shade?
Yeah, then I'm going to continue looking for this, trying to figure out what's going on with this weird schematic.
Make another computer's
thing.
check if you want. Yeah.
And walk over physically back to this side, having
Sure.
killed the thing, so that I can.
You turn and
get
you look, and
to-
as you walk towards this workstation, you see Echo like gesture with the hand, and this creature's entire body locks up and is dragged down. Echo seems to have some innate connection to stuff that is here. They might be a person that would be able to do this in a way that is a little quicker. But what was that check?
It was a 29.
Not quite high enough, unfortunately. You're just seeing an incomplete piece of blueprints.
I'm gonna ping to Echo. I think the message is for you.
A little busy.
And then
Indeed.
Sorry.
kind of gesture that I can finish them off. Or
Echo's like
guard.
not paying. Echo's just trying not to get hit.
Yeah.
That brings us to the top of the round and to the Proto Echoes, who are very much going to try to hit Echo. The one that is facing off against Bubbles. Bubbles, you hear again that initiate repair protocol. And it is going to turn and lumber between you and out. Drawing attacks of opportunity from all three of you.
I have my Dothko in my hand at the last attack, so I cannot.
Guys, it's another 2.
Gibbs, you cannot scrape across it, so
Get in there.
is all up to Spice.
I don't remember what weapon I had in my hand. What was it?
You had your
you
throwing knife, so
threw
you
your
were
knife.
unarmed.
Oh,
Punch it.
unarmed.
Punch it.
Punch it.
I don't
just
even
bite it.
know what
It's a
my
1d4
unarmed
to
strike
Punch
is.
it.
You
It's
need a
probably
natural
like
20
a
pretty
one-
much.
Oh, I rolled a 2! That's like my third, too! Wow.
In this space, with the oxygen that is enabling you to hear, you hear your finger break upon this creature as you punch it. And it walks straight past you. You just hear initiate repair protocol as it waddles by.
Hate this.
And it is heading towards
Wow,
that
that's
crate.
off a
bad.
twig.
That is all that it can do. The two that are on the other side of Echo are going to both take attacks against you. The first, that is a d12. The first
Hey,
is
12
going to
hit.
be a 19
Nope.
and then a 26.
Yes.
Okay, 26.
Beats it.
With the 26, that is going
Echo,
to
get out of the
be
fucking
16
hole
points
there.
of slashing damage.
16.
Yep. The second one is going to take 2 attacks. The highest one is a 23.
Nope.
All right. And so a little bit off kilter and lopsided and badly damages the one that had been near the bed. It is unable to strike. That is all that they can do this turn. That brings us to Spice. Bubbles, you're on deck.
Yep.
Alright, Spice is going to like unfurl her arm and look at Echo.
Echo, you look, and one finger is just jagged and like all janky and up, but yeah.
And then she's going to wink in Echo's direction. And you have to make a. Oh no, it's not even. What is your sense motive bonus?
My sense motive bonus?
Minus
Yeah.
5.
No, it's
There's
14.
Androids.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Doesn't even.
Yours is much better
So
than mine.
Spice looks at your way, winks at you, and you get a fucking ton of temporary hit points.
Hey!
This is my.
So it gives you shoot.
So
and then
this is-
sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. A couple little crackly
Wait,
things.
you see, she winks and then blows a kiss because this is the envoy improvisation. Kiss it better. So obviously
love
I
this
had
so
to fucking
much.
take it. So that's 6 plus. Ooh, 6 plus 14. What's 6 plus 14?
20.
So you get 20 temporary hit points.
shit.
Oh, wow, that's really good.
Suddenly,
Yeah.
these little hexagrams that are just dangling together by green strings just swell and reinforce.
And then
you
you
have a
feel a
full
little
defensive shield.
You got a bunch of little kiss marks floating around.
Yeah, no, now like just kiss marks.
Echo is so confused.
Yeah, there's a lot happening.
You're so loud.
Anything else, Spice?
Yeah. No, what I'm actually gonna do is. Well, actually, no. What are these guys? They're moving to this repair drone?
That one guy is kind of moving towards the repair drone. The other one, Bubbles smashed.
And then the
This
other one
one's
is also down,
Dunzo.
right?
Dunzo.
The only 2 that are alive are these 2.
Going for some
There's
funzo.
2 that are alive and 1 that's retreating.
There's one with 1 HP.
Yes,
that
alright.
This one is
retreating away.
retreating to go and try to
Revive himself?
heal itself. And then those 2 are being bottlenecked by Echo.
I'm gonna stay where I am, I guess.
Okay, no problem. You stay where you are. Gibbs in front of you, Bubbles off to the left. And that does, in fact, bring us to Bubbles. Gibbs, you're on deck.
Bubs is going to move up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And just swing the Dothko. He's feeling a little bit better, but he's mostly using his left hand for this.
Okay.
Because his right hand's his fingers are killing him.
Everybody's breaking fingers.
And he's just gonna go right down and use the momentum of the hammer really to do the attack.
Yeah,
He
no
doesn't want to
worries.
hurt his hands.
Make your attack roll.
And this is gonna be a standard attack. That is 11 plus 15 is 26.
26 against KAC?
I'm gonna say it's the bludgeoning, the hammer.
Still against... Oh, wait, so the magma...
That's the hammer side of the dog.
Gotcha, no worries. 26 is a miss, unfortunately. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, it is hobbling away to get this repair, but that is your turn, Bubbles. That brings us to Gibbs. Echo, you're on deck.
Oh.
Gibbs is gonna shoot a gun, switching out a different gun, pull out a gun, and shoot it at somebody.
Okay, move action to
gun.
pull out...
Hey,
Oh!
Back,
Baby!
Um,
The tables have
Natural 20
turned.
hits, natural 20
You have
hits.
The turns have
Shoot at this
tabled.
guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm shooting a guy.
I know you gotta say who you
have to shoot.
Well, okay.
That's the rules.
'Cause
Echo.
the only way I can hit, because my guns are not good enough, is rolling a natural 20.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like not committed. Okay, this is my Night Arc Needler,
Okay.
which now has the leeching thing.
Very nice.
So
Yeah.
I can I hit it for
Are those the ones with the little line?
You double the damage too on the dice, remember?
yeah, on the dice. Okay, I rolled two ones on it. Yeah.
Hey guys. That guy was
Thundering
220s.
4 points of damage.
So okay.
Ones, right?
So I recover hit points equal to the weapon's item level. Oh, in addition to any other critical hit effects, do my needles have poison in them, or do I have to do I have to tell you?
So they're stock, they have a default thing. Hang on.
Pour calcium bullets, but you don't. I don't.
No, I
think
have
any.
needles. I have needler. Sorry,
No worries, no worries.
I haven't used this yet.
So the Night Arc Needler, when you hit, it has an injection, the critical on it, the critical D...
It says if the weapon is used to deliver poison or drug, that save DC of that poison is increased by 2.
You haven't, yeah, if you haven't added a poison
okay.
specifically, then yeah.
Cool. Great. So I do, I think, 2 damage. Wait, no, hold on. I do 4 damage because I
4
critted.
points of damage. It is not enough to destroy
Wow.
this creature,
Yeah, I
but
know.
that
Look at me,
little
right?
syringe is jammed into a part that does seem to be locking the elbow up somewhat. For what it's worth. That is your turn, Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm killing it.
Alrighty,
one are
that
you
brings
killing?
us to...
I was killing the one that's not shaken because
that
that was
brings
the one you
us
targeted.
to Echo.
Cool.
Echo, a tiny syringe, ding, right into the creature in front of you.
Maybe just causing a surge near that syringe will do something. 30
Yes,
plus
it will.
10 is 40.
Yes, it absolutely will.
It's back. It's 26 to hit with
Against?
the EAC.
26 hits the EAC. And so as you touch this needle and you jolt this computer check against it, it forces this creature's servo motors that control the elbow to almost reverse and grind the needle into the elbow proper, making it significantly more damage.
So that's 13 points of initial cold and piercing. Plus 5, 15, 23, plus an additional 23 cold and piercing from the trick attack.
And that's enough. Absolutely. You fire into this creature, and as the elbow pulls the needle, which begins to, the glass breaks, and the needle itself is now circulating into the creature's arm, that begins to smoke and spark, and then you fire into it, and it just, freezes over and erupts out through the side, bursting into broken bits of steel. Anything else, Echo?
No, Echo's gonna keep them bottlenecked
All right.
and risk that
worries.
reaction.
You keep
you
them
paint
bottlenecked.
these?
That I did. That is your turn.
fucking gross.
Yeah, they are. That is your turn, Echo. That brings us to Shade.
Flesh is falling off.
There's faces on
It's
them
just
too.
the one left, right? So I have a question. If I try to gravity gun it... with
There's technically
Echo-
2 left.
This one too.
That one has
Oh, right.
1
Okay,
HP.
cool. Makes it easier. 1, 2, 3, 4. Dang. I think it's only 20 feet now.
You can move.
I can move. I have a move action. Oh, this is where the second move action would be good. I was gonna try to do a full action attack.
It's okay. You used it for a guarded step turn.
Yeah. Well, contextually now, this makes more sense. But yeah, I'm gonna go.
Take the whole workstation.
You trip over
with
the
you.
desk and
5,
Fatality.
7, 8,
40 feet of movement now. Nice.
and then. Fuck. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna pull it.
You're gonna shoot
It has 1
Spice
HP.
in the
If it
face.
falls down, you can hurt it.
just shoot it.
I can't shoot it because I don't have a weapon that's currently shootable.
What you doing?
I'm gonna go this way, and I'm gonna full action attack that guy. I'm gonna
Alright.
gravity gun it towards me
Full act.
Wait, what?
And
Through
then-
Echo?
try to stab it.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, go ahead with the gravity gun
What
first.
part of the shish kebab?
Yeah. Please don't
This is
shish
gonna
kebab
be-
me.
No, I'm gonna use my exocortex first to distracting Hackett, so that
Okay,
it's
very cool. Make your computers check.
I'm right there.
Yeah, wait, you're gonna have to
That's
shoot
cocked.
Echo also.
Rule of cool. I gotta try it.
No, this checks out for shit.
20.
What? Your ally is ready for
23
you.
against it's the
Yeah,
DC is 10 plus 1.5 CR.
Shish
What
kebab.
was it?
23.
That is not a hit, unfortunately.
My friend in
so
their
do
own
You pull the
house.
gun out and you
Well,
rest this
that was
pistol
the computer's
basically.
check.
Yeah, oh yeah, right.
Full
right, right,
action. Yeah. So now I'm attacking.
right. So you pull the weapon out, you rest it basically.
Hey!
You pull the
Spice's
gravity
face is
gun,
just like,
you rest it on Echo's shoulder, using that as a tripod, and you fire, and the gravity yanks this creature, and you pull the arm back so it goes over Echo, just sailing clean across.
You're fucking
While in
lucky,
the air,
Vera.
you can make your attack with
So
your
it's like-
blade.
Yeah, I pulled it up so that it kind of arcs over.
It slams into the ceiling, like scrapes across to give Echo clearance. Yeah.
And then
Echo, over your face, you just see these talons like, and they try to scratch.
Some real gun kata where you're just like shooting over your
20
friends.
I like it.
28 to hit.
Against KAC?
Yes.
Pizza pizza.
I just
Channeling Chet.
yeah. Nice.
Channeling
Good
with
numbers,
Chet.
good numbers.
I like that I specifically bought several different stands for you to use, but you're
Nope.
using a 3D printed Ditto to
Ditto
hold
with
your.
all the pens in it.
It's not good for the cord, man.
I would have printed that right now.
Well, I usually
29
hold
slashing
it.
damage.
29
I like to
points of
imagine
slashing
that it's
damage.
just skewered.
Yeah, I mean, this, as you fire, the gravity pulls it up. Echo, you duck under this attack, and the
Talon.
sword just pierces over top and right above you, Echo, as you look up. The sword goes directly over one side, and then this creature is skewered on the other, almost like a house's roof. But that is your
Gently
turn,
lay the
Shade.
body down.
Your turn? Alrighty, that brings us to the top of the round, to the sole surviving Echo unit with 1 hit point left. You hear initiate repair protocol as it
Does it trip over the body of its friend and just die?
35 as it goes and stands in the remains of that crate. It just stands. That is
That's really sad.
its turn.
It
You
doesn't have
hear
the pre-boot.
initiate repair protocol, and that is
Well, it has
all
the
that it can
pre-boot,
do.
it doesn't have the actual
Spice.
boot.
I'm gonna wait. Move down to in front of Bubbles. Wait, no, not in front of Bubbles because Bubbles might want to attack it.
I can go right.
5, 10, 15, 20, 45, 50. Okay. Let's see. Oh wait, it's where are my gates? I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay.
Knowing that I can't hit unless I roll a 20.
Okay.
So,
worked so far.
hey, 14
Not a
doesn't
20.
do it.
No worries. So running across this, you are unable to make the shot. This creature is basically dead, but it's still somehow eluding you.
And I
That
can't
is
do
your turn,
days.
Spice.
Yep.
Bubbles. Spice is next to you. You can see this creature slowly
get him,
making
babe.
its way over to get repaired. What do you want to do?
Bubs like mentally checks in with himself, and he's thinking, "Oh, Bubs, you gotta pull it together. Everyone's watching you now, and you can't hold back." And he like tenses his hand, and you can feel like the pain still in his fingers. And he's gonna go 1, 2, 3.
Are you hurt?
30.
They're all a little hurt, either
And then he's just going
physically, or
to
mentally. Some
throw the
combination of
dog
all
tail.
of them.
Okay, make your attack roll.
Standard attack. That's a 2.
It's a 2.
Yeah.
And so,
Wow.
despite the fact that this creature has one hit punch,
None of us can get
you
it.
cannot seem to finish this creature
It,
off.
it makes
standing
sense
in a
though because Bubs
box.
is exhausted.
No, absolutely.
And
That
Bubs
brings
is-
us to Gibbs. Gibbs, everybody is running out here throwing weapons. Nobody's being able to hit this creature. What are you doing?
This creature poses no threat, and this is largely Echo's choice if she wants to kill it or not, or if there is value in it being alive.
It's also all the way over.
Gibbs isn't gonna contribute to its being tortured or whatever, so Gibbs is gonna like move on to the next part of her life.
Yeah, torture is against Gibbs's code of
Yeah,
honor for
so,
sure.
like,
Gibbs has
only-
never done
only
torture.
murder.
Only
Excuse
murder.
me?
And so,
Only crimes of
Only-
passion.
Okay. Okay.
Only blowing up people's heads multiple times.
Passion!
She's like, I'm not passionate about this one's death. All the other ones, though.
so Echo, what would you like to do?
Literally, yeah.
It's the only way you get a coin flip when she feels it.
Very nice. Echo, you turn and rush across, leaping over Gibbs. And Gibbs, you are almost knocked down by the sheer wind that follows in the wake of Echo, but you are able to pull up right next to Bubbles.
And Echo's gonna use. I believe. Oh shit! I gotta check. Quickly cross-reference, see if I can use that skill.
Sure.
I can. Cool. Come up behind. This thing isn't living a real life. So that's a 31 for my stealth for a
Yep, that succeeds. 27 is the target number.
and that's 29 to hit.
29 hits.
Nice.
Echo, tell us how it happens. This creature has
Oh,
one hit
Echo
point.
deserved that one.
It's just very quiet. And Echo just like appears next to Bubbles and single shot.
Bubbles, in this moment, you try to hit this creature and you cannot. You are exhausted. You watch as everybody around you fails to finish this creature off. It is just you for a moment. You look behind you, there's nobody. You turn, you steel yourself, and suddenly you just feel Echo behind you, almost impossibly fast. And with a single shot, this creature is just bisected. The last remaining filaments severed, and they fall to pieces, and you are all out of combat.
Nice.
Shade lights up a cigarette and waits for Echo to come back to the computer terminal.
Okay. Pull the music to something a little bit more.
Echo waits to see if the great voice in the sky is calling it or if we can go to the computer terminal.
You can go to the computer.
Echo goes to the computer terminal.
You make your way over to the computer terminal, rushing back, leaving Bubbles behind. Bubbles, you stand here in this platform, these broken metallic bodies, elements of skin, but very much of it left back in the place, still kind of clinging to the lifeless forms. And you are, from all intents and purposes, alone out here. But Echo, you make your way back to this terminal. You go and you look, make a sense motive check and take a +8 conditional modifier.
Very generous, thank you.
Low. These are the highlighted points that I saw.
34.
Data
And that does
anomalies
account for
here,
that. So this
here,
is a
and
+6
here.
and then +2 for that.
Oh, nice.
What was that?
34.
34. Okay. One second here.
Echo's insightful. Just not very cultured.
Androids.
Oh, get the Zen crawler. That's right.
Or diplomatic.
Androids.
So, with that check, you look out and you can see, just like Shade was able to see, this is a Maxim Tech Orbiter 14. This is the very kind of antique shuttle that you see wrecked outside, and so it makes sense that it's up, except for the fact that most of the data has been wiped away. And that's pretty peculiar. Looking at all of this, there are like missing characters and words, but when you look at them all together, it looks like a random string of kind of mishmash. What you are seeing is the end of a file code for one of the blueprints that is on these servers. As your eyes kind of go back and you can do a little bit of mental math, This almost certainly is an Anubis Dynamics blueprint because it would be located on that very first server. And they're alphabetical, per the mechanic.
This blueprint is not for this shuttle. The file code and its organization is different.
Is this a message from the mechanic?
I believe it is pointing us in the direction of Anubis Dynamics, which does indeed make sense. And that Harbinger and Anubis Dynamics were indeed collaborating on projects.
So the mechanic collects, for work purposes primarily, but also as a hobby, blueprints for ships. Specifically ones that are produced in the USR primarily. That's like the niche interest that he has. This file type is not pointing you to Anubis Dynamics in general. It is a specific set of blueprints. It is one file.
Can Echo access the servers separately?
Yeah. These
is-
are password protected, but you know the password.
Yeah, Echo's gonna head over to the Anubis Dynamics server and look for the blueprint for that ship.
Okay. You boot up this server, and on this server, Abington Motors, Anubic Dynamics, Barrick, Black Moon Shipping, and Exemplar Elite Industries all have blueprints stored here. And the Anubis Dynamics file that this corresponds to is a Chillwalker shuttle, the same one that the mechanic flies. And if you access this file, it is not blueprints. There is very simply 4 letters. Give me 1 second here.
WWJD.
I found religion, Echo. WSRB.
Close.
ACAB.
WSRB. Does Echo have any context for this?
You don't have a lot, but one thing that does stand out to you, the mechanic, big fan of using low frequency radio. And something really funny, Bubbles had just recently mentioned some kind of a radio station in the Drift, and you sure as heck had heard about a radio station in the Drift just recently.
Bubs loves his oldies.
The mechanic has pointed you in the direction of where they likely are.
Echo logs that.
Did you find anything?
Yes. There's nothing left here. It's not even usable as a base of operations on the crawler. I apologize for the detour.
You don't need to apologize.
Echo seems supremely disappointed.
What's going on with these guys? Why are they? What's this? Why do they have skin? And where did that skin come from? And
Make a life sciences
is there
check.
skeletons to match the
Make
skin?
a life sciences
They're in the
check.
closet.
Yeah, like why is it like patchy? Frankenstein's.
Sorry, life sciences?
Yeah.
22.
There's probably not a skeleton to match this because this is all synthetic. The skin, unlike Echo, who certainly has real biological parts, unlike Shade, who has real biological parts, this is just synthetic. Entirely artificial. This was never attached to a human being or any bipedal creature. This was grown in a lab.
And the blood on the sheet stains.
Likely very similar. You would need to analyze it properly, but
This was the trap, but probably not meant for us. But this was synthetic skin.
What would the mechanic have done with Pallades rock?
I do not know. I do not know why they would choose. I do not think they would choose to work with them.
You think that's part of the messaging? Something to scare other echoes away from trying to find them?
If they were working with Pleiades Rock, they would most likely still be here.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that they are likely in danger and on the run.
That would be why they are located where they are located.
Are we going there next, or to Zin? Or is there on Zin? I don't think I'm clear where we're going.
There is not Unseen, but there is a way to find them. And where they are is potentially more safe than where we are headed.
So there?
Hardcore Henry's here, though.
We have a mission. And it is not our time yet to be knights. We are still pawns.
Where do you think the mechanic is?
There.
Safe. For now.
Then we'll continue the mission.
And from here, on the mechanic station, you can turn your eyes and you can see, illuminated by this system's very pale star in the distance, the beginnings of the crescent of the moon of Zin on one side, and turning your direction on the other way, the dark planet of Garachi on the other. And you are perfectly situated to go to either, and it will only take you about 50 minutes to get to either one. But because it is 10:10, this is where we're going to end for the evening, with all eyes pointed in one direction or the other. Thank you for sticking with us this evening. We have some one eye in each direction. Thank you for sticking with Starfinder. We will be back tomorrow night at 7:30 that's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And also 7:30.
And also, we'll still be playing at 7:30. But if you want to see the beginning, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitch. But please stay safe.
Stay safe. Save the
Stay-
trees.
Stay
Save the
golden.
trees, save the children, save the cheerleaders, save the world. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
See you,
And
space
also tomorrow.
boyfriend.